Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together, we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys?
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it. Husband!
Wife!
Do you not remember where we're at because we're in the middle of Psalms?
I don't, but it's not necessarily because we're in the middle of Psalms. It's because we went to a wedding yesterday.
We did.
And we had a good old time. There was a drag queen show at the wedding. It was amazing.
At the reception.
At the reception, yeah.
It was amazing. It was so cool.
It was
and
really awesome.
It was a surprise.
Yeah.
Like, they had put that together for their guests. So it was a surprise for the guests, not for the wedding party. The wedding party put this together, like, for us.
Right. No, it was really cool.
It was the coolest.
Yeah. So anyway, because of that, and Psalms, I don't remember shit.
I don't even care. How about that? Because Psalms is
fair.
trash.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
So that being said, yesterday I think we went over Psalms. Do you recall?
You remember Friday? Do you mean Friday?
Friday. Yeah, that's what I meant.
We did. I don't know. We did a few.
We did some Psalms.
We did some fucking Psalms. Through 101 is where we ended.
Okay.
So
I think we only did 2. It was like 100 and 101.
I think you're right.
Okay. So today we're going to be getting into
Psalms 102, 3, and 4.
Okay. And I do want to mention one thing here. We only have 4 days left on our drive that we're doing for our live podcast equipment that we need. Mm-hmm. And we've only hit 32% of our goal. So if any of you are teetering on whether you wanted to help us out there,
we could really use
that out here in the last 4 days. So text SACDIS, that's SACDIS, to 53555. It'll send you a link. And then it'll tell you what to do from there and all that shit. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So go do that.
So we can get some better equipment for this live event that we have coming up.
Yeah, coming up on the 27th, which we also have information on our Facebook and Twitter about that. And I think I've got it on Discord as well. So, if you have any questions about that and you're going to be in the Dayton area, we'd love to see you there. But we do need you to RSVP. So reach out to us about information on how to do that or find one of the links.
Absolutely. And we really hope any of you can make it.
Yeah, definitely. That being said, let's go ahead and get into the news. Not new. They're very old. So the Psalms for today.
Okie dokie. Okay, let us jump into Psalm 102.
Let us.
And carrots. A prayer of an not unafflicted. He wouldn't need to say a prayer if he was unafflicted.
Right, I guess.
A prayer of an afflicted man when he is faint and pours out his lament before the Lord.
He's crying.
Ow. Like that.
Yeah.
Hear my prayer, O Lord. Let my cry for help come to you. Do not hide your face from me when I am in distress. That's what I'm going to tell you next time I'm upset. Husband, do not turn your ear to me when I'm in distress.
But God specifically hides his face from everybody, even Moses. Mm-hmm. So, you can't tell him not to hide his face from you because he's gonna.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like, nah. Except for then when he doesn't, because sometimes he doesn't.
Right.
Sometimes he's like, no, I'm right here. Even though I said specifically that
I wouldn't be.
Mm-hmm. I am.
Here I am.
There I am.
Whatevs. Turn your ear to me. When I call, answer me quickly. Yeah, that's what I'm going to... That whole thing, I'm going to tell you that. When I call, husband, you better come over here. Turn your ear this way, bitch.
Yeah.
For my days vanish like smoke. My bones burn like glowing embers. My heart is blighted and withered like grass. I forget to eat my food.
Damn it. Don't forget to eat your food, man. That's good for you.
Yeah. I don't forget to eat my food. I can tell you that much. Because of my loud groaning. Here it goes, ready.
Groaning.
I am reduced to skin and bones.
Damn it.
This is actually a lament for a person suffering from a food problem.
Got
is
it.
what I'm getting.
Yeah.
And they need to
starvation
go to
or some sort of disease is causing them not to be able to eat.
Or like anorexia, like a body dysmorphia kind of thing.
Right. Probably what they need is either a modern doctor or a psychologist.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
I am like a desert owl, like an owl among the ruins. You know all those ruins that there always are, and there's owls floating around them?
Right. No.
You know how owls do that?
I mean, we don't have a lot of ruins in the United States, so...
But I would think that they would be more overcome with bats than owls.
You think?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe back then there was... I mean, I have you ever gone on, like, an owl hike?
No. Have you?
Oh, I have. Yeah, it's really cool.
I need to hear more about this later.
Yeah.
Never heard of that before. How do I not know this about you?
I don't know.
Married for 500 years, and I don't know that you've been on an owl hike.
Yeah.
All right, take some notes, because put that in your brain. I'm going to be asking about that later.
Okay. All right. Okay? Yeah.
I lie awake. I have become like a bird alone on a roof. A hot tin roof?
I don't know.
Okay. All day long, my enemies taunt me. You're bald. Those who rail against me use my name as a curse. Fuck you, husband. For I eat ashes as my food.
Why do you eat ashes? That sounds really dumb.
That is dumb. And mingle my drink with tears.
That's
salty.
That's really depressing.
Because of your great wrath. For you have taken me up and thrown me aside. My days are like the evening shadow. I wither away like grass.
This is somebody that apparently they're saying that God has punished them, right? Mm-hmm. And he's like, I've realized that you should be feared and awed, and so I'm asking you to relent, and I believe, and all this shit. Is that kind of what we're getting at here?
Sounds like it. Either that, or it's like a really bad breakup, and they're like sitting on their bed with a pint of ice cream, and they're singing blue, oh so lonesome.
It's just really convenient though. Like people that have something bad happen to them, right? Mm-hmm. There's a million things in anybody's life that you could say like, yeah, you're getting blamed for this by God, mm-hmm. and He's punishing you, right? Mm-hmm. And if you get better, mm-hmm. then you prayed hard enough, right?
Yeah.
You did enough of the prayers and all that
pray.
Shit. But if you die, or if you don't get better,
mm-hmm. You had it
coming, and
you
didn't pray hard enough.
Yeah.
Like either way, they've got a good answer for it,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what you say and what happens.
Cause God.
Yeah. Like that, I hate it. It's like the catch-all answer for everything. Cause God.
Yeah, obviously.
It's so stupid.
And simple. But you, O Lord, sit enthroned forever. Your renown endures through all generations. You will arise and have compassion on Zion, for it is time to show favor to her. Says who? He decided, the psalmist decided, it's time, God.
It's time
get up
now.
in there.
Right.
Yeah. Let's see. It's time to show favor to her. The appointed time has come. For her stones are dear to your servants. Her very dust moves them to pity. The nations will fear the name of the Lord. All the kings of the earth will revere your glory.
You know, this reminds me. You know how there's all these people that are like, the end is nigh, right? Mm-hmm. And people claim that God's, wrath and retribution and whatever, the whole Revelation thing is going to happen in our lifetime, right? Mm-hmm. And that's been said for literally since the beginning of Christianity. Mm-hmm. They believed He was coming back in the first generation of Christians. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, there's just no end to it.
No.
And there's never a point where they're like, maybe we had this wrong.
We might have got the wrong page number.
Even
here.
Thousands of years later, He still hasn't shown up, and they're like, he's still coming soon, even
tomorrow, maybe. You don't know.
You don't. Yeah, it could be any time.
It's a sign.
But it's thousands of years later. Mm-hmm. How long do we have to go before they give the fuck up?
How long? How long will you turn your face from me? 2,000 years. Damn.
I mean, they did say there was that article that said that Christianity is on the decline in the United States at one of the fastest paces ever. I just shared something I shared that article on Twitter and stuff the other day. So I thought that was it's still not fast enough for me. I want it to be 1, 2, 3, go, done.
Right?
But
we might actually live to see it be in its death toll stages. That
right?
would be
Maybe we started this
awesome.
podcast at like just the right time, right?
That'd be
like
badass.
all these atheists coming onto the scene, they're gonna be
Mhm.
like, "Hey, yeah, let's go listen to husband and wife," because
Mhm.
atheists, they know
Pass it
what's
on.
up,
Yeah, they knew before.
right?
Yeah, we did. Nope. The nations will fear the name of the Lord. All the kings of the earth will revere your glory. For the Lord will rebuild Zion and appear in his glory. He will respond to the prayer of the destitute. He will not despise their plea.
Okay.
I got news for you.
I mean, this went from like a personal plea to a plea for everybody in Zion.
Right.
Like he was all dying and eating ashes and crying in his goddamn drinks.
I swear to God, I thought you were going to say eating ass instead of eating ashes. Which is fine if that's your thing, but it was just funny. Let this be written for a future generation, that a people not yet created may praise the Lord. Oh, please no.
Yeah, but
Please
you guys
no.
could have just stopped it back then if you wanted.
Stop. The Lord looked down from his sanctuary on high. From heaven he viewed the earth. And what? Oh, I lost my place. To hear the groans of the prisoners and release those condemned to death.
Okay.
What?
I mean, I don't think no.
What?
I'm pretty sure that he didn't do that.
I
don't know of any prisoner release caused by God. Did you
No.
ever hear of anything like that?
No, it was always by Kim Kardashian talking to Trump. So the name of the Lord will be declared in Zion, and his praise in Jerusalem, when the peoples and the kingdoms assemble to worship the Lord. In the course of my life, he broke my strength. He cut short my days. So I said, do not take me away, O my God, in the midst of my days. Your years go on through all the generations. In the beginning, you laid the foundations of the earth, and the heavens are the work of your hands. They will perish, but you remain. They will all wear out like a garment. Like clothing, you will change them, and they will be discarded. But you remain the same, and your years will never end. The children of your servants will live in your presence.
According to the Bible, New Testament, God doesn't remain the same.
No, it's true.
I'm just throwing that out there.
It's true.
And we haven't got there yet, but I just wanted to say that.
Literally had the last half of a sentence left.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. The children of your servants will live in your presence. Their descendants will be established before you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So
I mean, I don't know when you're reaching the last half a sentence.
I know, it's just you do that a lot. It's like somehow you know. You intrinsically know.
I mean,
God whispers in your ears and he says, refuge, refuge, refuge. Now, speak. She's almost done. Cut her off.
I think that it's because they're getting to the point where they're making their point.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no, that's stupid.
Yeah, it's true.
And it always...
Wait, no, stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just stop.
Right.
All right, here is my notes. Psalm 102 is a cry in distress, a prayer of the poor man, or a prayer of the afflicted.
Okay.
It depends on which translation you read, but it's all those things.
Got it.
And it starts, hear my prayer, O Lord.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the 7 penitential psalms. Psalm 102 also begins the final section of the 3 traditional divisions of the Latin psalms.
Okay.
I don't know what that means, but
nor do I.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Psalm 102 is said in times of community crisis. It is also recited as a prayer for a childless woman to give birth and as a prayer for the well-being of an ill person.
I get the 2, but the one in the middle of the woman trying to give birth doesn't make a whole lot. A childless woman trying to give birth. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
She's ill.
That's an affliction.
That's an affliction.
Okay.
Because she can't give birth. She can't.
I see.
She needs IVF, and instead she turns to God.
I see.
And says that psalm, and then the magic happens.
Got it. That's really, it's really sad.
And that's why insurance won't cover it. JK. JK.
I mean, you're not far off there.
Right? I mean, it has to be related to that because, insurance doesn't cover a lot of things that should be covered.
It's true.
I've read that there is a case being brought against some insurance companies because they will cover IVF for straight people, but not gay people. And because they say that with a straight couple, the woman is literally physically incapable for whatever physical reason, and with gay people, whatever.
What? Because they're not having heterosexual sex?
Correct.
Healthcare has nothing to do with how it happens. It's about what you do when it's like it's how you treat the problem.
But because of the way it's
phrased, it has nothing to do with the way it's being done.
Because of the way it's phrased, the insurance company is like, I'm really sorry, our hands are tied. You don't have a non-able to get pregnant problem.
That's some bullshit. That's some bullshit.
Hence the case being brought. And I'm like, good.
Yeah.
Because even if they lose, the fact that it's even being talked about is good. You know what I mean?
Right.
Obviously, I hope that they win their case, but
yeah.
Even if they don't, we're talking about it more now than ever before in history, and that's amazing.
It is.
So there. Okay, Psalm 103 of David.
Of David.
I love David,
don't
you? He's the best. He's the bee's knees.
No.
He's just cherry. He's applesauce.
He's a real piece of shit is
He's
what he is.
He's the cat's pajamas.
No.
Is it pajamas or pajamas?
I go with pajamas.
I think I say pajamas, but I think that if you're going to say it belongs to the cat, it should be pajamas. The cat's pajamas.
Yeah.
That goes better.
It does.
Okay, let me say that again.
I mean, it's really either or.
David is the cat's pajamas.
Yeah.
But I wear pajamas.
Right.
How about that?
Okay. There's a distinction there somewhere.
I think so.
Maybe.
It's kind of like the Mediterranean. The Caribbean or the Caribbean. Right?
Yeah.
Like the song by Enya is Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
But when we talk about it, it's the Caribbean Sea.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
I don't know. What do you say?
I've said both, depending on how I'm referring to it.
I know, and I can't remember which is which, just whichever comes out of my mouth first. Do you say pecan or pecan?
Pecan.
I think I've heard you say pecan.
No, you've not heard me say pecan.
I think I've heard you say pecan pie.
No.
I hope not.
You have not heard me say pecan pie.
I want to say I've heard it, though. But maybe it's just somebody in your family that says it.
I would imagine that to be the case because I can't imagine saying pecan pie.
I can't imagine ever saying pecan. Like, I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah.
Like, why? Why? Explain to me why, listeners. Why do you say pecan? It's pecan. I just started a war. World War III started right here.
Yeah?
Apologies.
Okay.
Praise the Lord, O my soul. All my inmost being, praise his holy name. Praise the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all of his benefits, except for IVF if you're gay.
Right.
Who forgives all your sins and heals all your diseases, who redeems your life from the pit and crowns you with love and compassion, who satisfies your desires with good things, so that your youth is renewed like the eagles.
I'm going to go with not God.
Like an eagle.
Yeah, I'm going to go with not God. Though.
Not God. The Lord works righteousness and justice for the oppressed. That's what it says. He made known his ways to Moses, his deeds to all the people of Israel. The Lord is compassionate and gracious, slow to anger, abounding in love.
I always get pissed off when they say slow to anger. I'm
not according to what I read.
There's definitely instances where it was not that way.
It was so quick to anger.
Yeah.
And it was not abounding in love.
No.
It was irritation. Sometimes rightfully so, but still.
Right.
He will not always accuse, nor will he harbor his anger forever. That sounds false.
So sometimes he will accuse, and sometimes he will harbor his anger for some amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah. He does not treat us as our sins deserve, or repay us according to our iniquities.
No?
Yeah, he does.
I was going to say.
You're a liar. You're a liar, psalmist.
Yeah.
For as high as the heavens are above the earth, so great is his love for those who fear him. Fear.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget to be afeared.
Right.
As far as the east is from the west. I mean, that's
ridiculous.
It's
a ridiculous statement.
It's a poetic statement, but it's not like something that can be measured, obviously.
Right.
So far as he has removed our transgressions from us. So we're that far removed.
So eternally. Essentially.
Yeah, infinity.
Because it can't be measured.
Infinity rotten.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Or infinity not rotten. As a father has compassion on his children, so the Lord has compassion on those who fear him.
So apparently fathers are to be feared according to this as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with that.
I don't either.
I think that's a shit way to parent.
It is, and I tell you, as a person who grew up afeared of their parents,
right,
and who still suffers PTSD because of it, I mean, absolutely not. That is not okay.
Right.
For he knows how we are formed. He remembers that we are dust. Well, that's nice of him.
I mean, since he was the one that hypothetically made us from dust,
us, yeah,
he should remember that. I would imagine. I'm going to start
calling you that. You dust. That's what I'm going to call Christians when I'm mad at them. You dust.
Damn dust pile.
As for man, his days are like grass. He flourishes like a flower of the field. The wind blows over it, and it is gone. And its place remembers it no more. Kind of like dandelions when they're still in seed, and you can just pluck them and blow them.
Yeah.
The toddler that I babysit, we call them wishes.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, let's go pick wishes.
Yeah.
I love it. So cute. But from everlasting to everlasting, the Lord's love is with those who fear him, and his righteousness with their children's children, with those who keep his covenant and remember to obey his precepts. I will never, ever praise a God who wants me to fear him. That's just fucking stupid.
Right, right.
The Lord has established his throne in heaven, and his kingdom rules over all. Praise the Lord, you his angels, you mighty ones who do his bidding, who obey his word. Praise the Lord, all his heavenly hosts, you his servants who do his will. Praise the Lord, all his works everywhere in his dominion. Praise the Lord, oh my soul.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a lot of praising they were doing
Praise the Lord.
Yep.
Praise the Lord. Okay. This is my notes for Psalm 103, which is praise for the Lord's benefits.
Yep.
And it starts, bless the Lord, O my soul. This is a hymn psalm. It has been suggested that the psalm was written in David's latter life based on the psalmist's focus on the frailty of life. So, as he's an old man in bed surrounded by virgins trying to keep his body warm.
Yeah.
14-year-old little girl virgins.
Rough life. Yeah. He's got it bad.
That's just gross.
It is.
The opening words, bless the Lord, O my soul, appear again at the beginning of Psalm 104, which we're about to read, suggesting a connection between these psalms. And verse 14, which I'll tell you in a minute, is often recited during a burial service. Which one do you think it is? If you had to guess.
I don't know.
The one with the dust.
Oh,
where he says,
yeah.
dust. For he knoweth our frame. For he knoweth our frame. He remembereth that we are dust. Get in the ground, you dead dust.
Do you remember when we were... Sorry, do you remember when we were talking about David and he did have that young girl that was at his bedside or whatever? Yeah. But, they claimed over and over and over again that he did not have relations with her.
Couldn't fuck her, didn't never fuck her,
right,
couldn't.
Right.
Had no
They had
Viagra.
a huge deal about that.
Mm-hmm.
Because probably, he was probably not, able to get it up.
Work. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And we talked about that too at the time.
Yeah, we did. I was recalling David for just a moment there.
Yep. He needed the blue pill, and if he had it, boy, he would have fucked her.
Probably.
Yep. All right, here we go. Last one for tonight, Psalm 104. It's a bit lengthy, so hold on to your butts.
All right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Praise the Lord, oh my soul. Remember?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, my God, you are very great. Not just great, but very great.
Very great.
It's like when your teacher gives you back your English paper. She doesn't just write, you got an A, you got a very A. You are clothed with splendor and majesty. He wraps himself in light as with a garment. He stretches out the heavens like a tent and lays the beams of his upper chambers on their waters.
Okay.
He makes the clouds his chariot and rides on the wings of the wind. He makes winds his messengers, flames of fire his servants.
These guys must see different clouds than I see.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say a little bit of interesting stuff about this, though. So try to try to like soak it in.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. He set the earth on its foundations. It can never be moved. I like how it goes back and forth between he and you. Sometimes I'm talking about God, and sometimes I'm talking directly to God.
No, and that's been
confusing.
consistently throughout Psalms. Like they kind of bounce between God says / I say.
Yeah.
And it's there's no real marked there's no marked split between when he's talking and then the other person's talking.
Well, like right here it says, he set the earth on its foundation, it can never be moved. The very next sentence is, you covered it with the deep as with a garment. The water stood above the mountains. Like, well, he did this and you did that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's no quote marks. There's no nothing. It's he set the earth and then you covered it with the deep as with a garment.
Yeah.
Like, from one sentence to the next, it switches from, I'm talking about him, I'm talking to him.
Right.
Weird.
Yeah.
But at your rebuke, the waters fled. At the sound of your thunder, they took to flight. They flowed over the mountains. They went down into the valleys, to the place you assigned for them. You set a boundary they cannot cross. Never again will they cover the earth. He makes springs pour water into the ravines. You see, it did it again from one paragraph to the next.
Yep.
You did this, and then he makes springs.
Right.
Pour water into the ravines. It flows between the mountains. They give water to all the beasts of the field. The wild donkeys quench their thirst. The birds of the air nest by the waters. They sing among the branches. He waters the mountains from his upper chambers. The earth is satisfied by the fruit of his work. He makes grass grow for the cattle and plants for man to cultivate, bringing forth food from the earth. Wine that gladdens the heart of man, oil to make his face shine, and bread that sustains his heart. The trees of the Lord are well watered, the cedars of Lebanon that he planted. There the birds make their nests, the stork has its homes in the pine trees. The high mountains belong to the wild goats. The crags are a refuge for the conies, not the hot dogs.
This is just a large list of like a bunch of natural phenomena.
Keep that in your mind.
Yeah.
Okay. The moon marks off the seasons. The sun knows when to go down. You bring darkness, it becomes night, and all the beasts of the forest prowl. The lions roar for their prey and seek their food from God. The sun rises and they steal away. They return and lie down in their dens. Then man goes out to his work to labor until evening.
Okay.
How many are your works, O Lord? In wisdom you made them all. The earth is full of your creatures. There is the sea, vast and spacious, teeming with creatures beyond number, living things both large and small. There the ships go to and fro, and the Leviathan which you formed to frolic there. These all look to you to give them their food at the proper time. When you give it to them, they gather it up. When you open your hand, they are satisfied with good things. When you hide your face, they are terrified. When you take away their breath, they die and return to the dust. When you send your spirit, they are created, and you renew the face of the earth. Like, this one's kind of pretty.
I mean, it's actually, yeah. No, you'll notice I haven't really interrupted a lot because, I mean, it almost sounds like a poem of some type. And I'm not, look, I'm not against beautiful things in the Bible. Like, I can appreciate this. So.
Yeah. I've got one paragraph left, so hold your horses.
Sure.
Let me get through this, and then we'll talk some more.
Okay.
But, yeah, I just wanted to pause and say this is very enjoyable.
Right.
May the glory of the Lord... Oh, there it is. May the glory of the Lord endure forever. May the Lord rejoice in his works. He who looks at the earth and it trembles, who touches the mountains and they smoke. I mean...
It's still, really beautiful imagery.
It's very poetic, yeah. I will sing to the Lord all my life. I will sing praise to my God as long as I live. May my meditation be pleasing to him as I rejoice in the Lord. But may sinners vanish from the earth and the wicked be no more. I mean, I don't have a problem with that. Sinners can get fucked.
Sinners insofar as...
assholes.
Right, but that's where this whole thing breaks down is that who gets to judge who a sinner is?
Right.
You know what I mean?
I'm going to say pedophiles get fucked. Rapists get fucked. People who like to abuse animals, get fucked.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Outright murderers, right? Get fucked.
Outright murderers.
Okay, if you kill somebody in self-defense, are you an outright murderer?
I guess not. I just was looking for the definition of outright in this term.
Outright murderer to me is somebody who says, I don't like that guy. I'm going to murder his ass.
Got it.
That's an outright murderer.
Right.
Preconceived, you know?
Sure.
All right, sorry. Praise the Lord, oh my soul. Praise the Lord.
Okay. All right, yeah.
So
no, that was a very beautiful psalm. Actually, I think that might be my favorite one so far.
Because you like nature a lot.
I love nature.
I like nature. I particularly like that one. I still like the one that was the astronomers.
Yeah.
I want to say that was like Psalm 8 or something, like way back.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, that one didn't really give me a lot of reason to,
be cranky.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So this is interesting, though. And also, I'm going to make a note here. Remember when you, in the intro, said something about how we're getting into new ones, and then you were like, wait, no, they're old. They're very old.
Right.
Okay. It's funny that you said that.
Because this is a very old one?
This is a very old one.
Got it.
Okay. Hypothetically. So let me get into my notes.
Because it feels very, almost like Eastern religion-ish, like Buddhist or something, you know?
It feels very, not like fire and brimstone behavior. He'll get you. Be afeared.
There was even like the meditation in there and like everything. Like it was a different tone.
It was a very different tone. I very much like this one.
Yeah.
Okay. Psalm 104 is the Lord's care for his creation. And it starts, bless the Lord, O my soul. O Lord, my God, thou art very great. And this is one of the longer psalms.
Right.
But not the longest. We're going to be hitting those shortly.
Okay.
Okay. The subject matter is closely related to the first Genesis creation narrative, where likewise the waters are separated before the creation of the sun and the moon.
Okay.
Okay. So then there was a note that said related, that is, to Genesis chapter 1, which is chronologically younger than the second version in Genesis 2. Because remember, there's two Genesis stories.
Yep.
This is related
to the earlier one.
In comparison to the earlier one.
Okay.
It is also related to older written accounts of creation from the ancient Near East, from Mesopotamian and Egyptian.
Very interesting.
Right? In particular, the Egyptian great hymn to the Aten. That's Aten. So apologies if I'm mispronouncing it. But he was dated to 14th century BC. And that hymn to the Aten, which is a god, a sun disk god, is frequently cited as a predecessor to Psalm 104.
Interesting.
So I find it interesting that you were like, this feels older, this feels more nature, this feels more Eastern, and I'm like, So then I was like, okay, hold on a sec. What is the great hymn to the Aten? What the fuck? What? Huh?
Right.
Since this is like supposed to be like come from that, I needed to know. So what is that again now? Okay.
Yeah.
So great hymn to the Aten is the longest of a number of hymn poems written to the sun disk deity Aten. It was composed in the middle of the 14th century BC, and it is varyingly attributed to the 18th dynasty pharaoh Akhenaten or his courtiers, depending on the version, who radically changed to traditional forms of Egyptian religion by replacing them with Atenism. It has been called one of the most significant and splendid pieces of poetry to survive from the pre-Homeric world.
Interesting.
How have I never heard of this, right?
Yeah.
It was found in the tomb of the courtier and later pharaoh A-Y.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The 18th century pharaoh Akhenaten forbade the worship of other gods, a radical departure from the centuries of Egyptian religious practice.
So this is, I'm going to stop you for just a second. To me, this is very interesting because this is predating a lot of Christianity and God and stuff like that, right? And the fact that that psalm is maybe attributed as a offshoot of that poetry from whatever that was. It seems that some of this might be influencing ideas of what Judaism might have come from. in some form or fashion.
Yes.
That's really interesting.
Right?
I don't know where to go with that. I don't know enough about this to speak more intelligently about it.
It just means that, once again, Judaism and then Christianity and Muslim religions, like all of them together collectively stole from a lot of earlier religions.
Yeah. No, and that's where I was
proof.
I mean, yeah, that's where I was going with it, is that it's very intriguing.
This seems to be like one of the nicer ones that they stole from.
And it would really intrigue me to read how does this, thing that happened in Egypt relate to Judaism, and how did it affect it?
I am going to jump ahead and spoilers, give you a little bit of a note that not all scholars agree that influenced this.
Okay, good to know.
But I will get there in a second. I
Sure.
just wanted to cut you off before you
go too far with it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. So Akhenaten's religious reforms, later regarded heretical and reversed under his successor Pharaoh Tutankhamun, King Tut.
Right.
Have been described by some scholars as monotheistic, though others consider them to be henotheistic. And I was like, the fuck is henotheism?
Sure.
Okay. Henotheism is the worship of a primary god or gods that does not deny the existence or possible existence of other deities. So it says these other gods do exist, but this one is the biggest, baddest motherfucker out there.
But that tracks with like the whole Elohim, version of God as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Christianity as a whole.
Well,
yes.
Judaism at the very least.
Yes. Yes.
Because let's be honest, Christianity adopted the Yahweh God, not the Elohim.
That is true.
So,
but yeah, you're absolutely right. Judaism definitely, I would say, was henotheistic, even if nobody else would say that.
Right. No,
because
I agree.
Other gods exist.
At least the early forms of it.
Mm-hmm.
For
other
sure.
gods exist. This one's the biggest, baddest.
And there was many different groups of Judaism out there.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the one that survived is more of a Yahweh sect.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that there weren't others that existed that were more in that light.
Let me follow that up with my next sentence.
Sure.
Henotheism, the term and study thereof, was originally intended to describe the worship of a god that was restricted to a specific geographical area. Pause. Salah, bitches.
Sounds very familiar to me.
Does it not?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, our idol here is bigger than your idol over there.
Right.
And keep your idol away from us.
Well, and let's be honest. So, again, in a lot of the earlier versions of the Bible, and a lot of like the Moses versions of the Bible, the Deuteronomistic history and all that, right? The idea that God was a local God was a lot more prevalent than it has. Like it's morphing into more of the Yahweh version of God, like what we've been reading lately.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting that the early versions were much more that than the evolution of God in the Bible itself is very intriguing to me.
It is, because I did not know that that's what we were going to find.
Right.
When we started this, I did not know that we were going to find different versions of God and an evolution of how God is described, defined, worshipped, viewed, feared, adored. Like, I didn't understand that. I just didn't know.
Right. And that whole difference between the types of gods and how it has evolved, it lends to how people are able to take different meanings from the Bible, because the God itself that is described in the Bible is different things throughout the Bible.
Right.
And even as we get into New Testament, which we haven't got to, obviously,
right, it's
going to become something else yet again.
Yeah.
So it's a continuously morphing version of what God is.
It's almost like when somebody says that, they believe in God and that they're Christian, it's almost like, okay, but which one do you believe?
Right, yeah.
Like, do you believe in, Yahweh or Elohim? Are you?
And it's a fair question.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a fair question.
It is. But it's not one that I've ever heard, and I'm really kind of perturbed
Well, because people
it took me fucking reading this on our own to discover, like, not only are they cherry picking what verses they want to read, they're cherry picking which fucking God they want to believe in on any day of the fucking week.
I just wish there was, I think it would be a lot more healthy relationship that Christians and Jewish people would have with their God if they had real conversations and real intellectual and philosophical conversations about what the text and context of everything meant. And instead of just relying on apologists to explain things in a specific way.
Right.
You know? Why is it so wrong to ask questions about God in the Bible?
Right.
Like, why do people get upset when you ask them questions? Because it is weird. This shit is weird.
Right.
And I'm sorry, it just is.
It is. I mean, there's nothing normal about this stuff.
Right.
It's all very cuckoo beans.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that happened. Anyway, some scholars believe both Akhenaten's hymn and the Hebrew Psalm 104, were derived from a common Syrian source.
Okay.
So they both came from the same place as one theory.
Sure.
Or else that Psalm 104 is derived from the Pharaoh's original poem, which that is also a thing that I could totally believe.
Yeah.
However, others say that the resemblances are more likely to be the result of the often generic similarity between Egyptian hymns and biblical psalms.
Okay.
And that a specific, quote, literary interdependence is not probable.
Okay.
So,
I mean, regardless, it was definitely an older psalm.
Yeah.
Like, I can tell that for sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, just based on the fact that it is more related to Genesis chapter 1.
Right.
Genesis chapter 1 is older.
Yeah.
You know?
And it is still one of my favorites that we've heard so far.
Yeah.
And just by the mere nature of the mere nature.
The nature of the nature.
The nature of the nature, yeah.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
So,
observant Jews recite Psalm 104 in its entirety every day during morning services and on certain occasions such as the new moon. Which
interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, it does talk about the moon and stuff.
Yeah, it did. So. And we didn't even really get into that, but like that kind of lends to more of a pagan aspect to the whole, religion in general.
Which early Judaism was more pagan.
It was. And it's right there.
Yeah.
It's right there to read anytime you want to, and it's kind of amazing.
I have one final note that you will absolutely love.
Okay.
I think.
All right.
Musician Bob Marley believed that cannabis use was prevalent in the Bible, reading passages such as the 14th verse of Psalm 104 as showing approval of its usage.
Oh.
Now, this is slightly different from the translation that we read.
Okay.
So I was looking for it to see if this popped up while I was reading, and it didn't.
Got it.
But the 14th verse...
I'm assuming this is from the King James Version?
The King James Version says, He causeth the grass to grow for the cattle, and herb for the service of man, that he may bring forth food out of the earth.
Huh.
And so Bob Marley's like, it says right there that the herbs for the man to use.
Right.
Shit, man.
Yeah.
No,
good on him, man.
Yeah.
I mean... People use the Bible for all kinds of things. At least you can use it for some good there.
Yeah, seriously. It says right in the Bible that cannabis is for us to use.
Yeah.
What you gonna do?
You got anything else for us?
That is it.
Okay.
That was my final note. I thought we could end on Bob Marley because
we should
always end on Bob Marley.
I mean, that would be ideal, but
right.
So that was Psalms 102 through 104?
Correct.
And tomorrow we will be back with...
Okay, tomorrow's going to be a little odd.
Okay.
Because we will go back in history a little bit.
Oh, that's right. This is where we go back to 86, isn't it?
No, 78.
So close.
So not
really.
Close at all.
Not close at all.
No.
78.
We skipped over 78 because it's one of the historical psalms.
Okay.
So we're going to read that one, Psalm 105 and Psalm 106. And they're all a bit lengthy, not undoable, but longer than we like. But that will conclude book 4 of the Book of Psalms.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
trucking right along here.
We really are.
All right. Well, that being said, we will see you guys tomorrow.
Yes, we will.
Bye.
Bye. Husband.
Wife.
Do you not remember where we're at because we're in the middle of Psalms?
Well, we're getting ready to do, I think it was 80 something.
No, 78.
78. Son of a bitch. Anyway, yeah. So we just got done with the 104 was the last one we did. I know that. 102 through 104. And we read a really old one last time that I kind of liked, actually.
Yeah, because it was all nature.
Very yeah.
And it was probably from the same source as like some early whatever.
Elohim God shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it was decent-ish in my book. So as far as poetry and
we learned a new vocabulary word.
Yeah, the henotheistic, yeah.
Something like that.
Right, yeah.
One where it acknowledges that other gods may exist.
So did we really learn the new word? Because we didn't really pull that one off very well.
I mean...
We half learned it.
It's still new. We recognize it in conversation now.
Yeah, that's true.
And it was exciting to know because we already had the sense that was a thing. We just didn't know that there was vocabulary for it.
Right.
So that's exciting.
It is.
Yeah.
Speaking of exciting, I've got some news, and I'm going to have to change our entire intro that I just changed last night after this happened. But we had one of our patrons actually reach out and donate half of what we asked for our campaign for our live equipment.
In one lump sum.
So Natalie. Holy fuck.
Natalie.
Thank you so much.
Ridiculously above and beyond. So grateful.
I mean,
just astounding.
Really don't even have the words. I mean, we were talking about, pretending that we're on Wayne's World and like, we're not worthy. Yeah, that's, I mean, wow. So that being said, I do want to mention that Natalie is a longtime patron of ours, and they donated $250 to our campaign.
Yes.
I mean, it was just unreal. And
thank you, Natalie.
Yeah. They have their own podcast that they do with a couple other people called Lost in Revision. And it is a really cool podcast that they cover some like ancient folklore and fairy tales and things like
children's literature.
Yeah, no, it's really, really neat.
It's so cool.
And I highly recommend checking it out. I'm going to link to that podcast's link tree in our show notes. So go check out Natalie's podcast, and I mean, thank them for us.
Seriously.
Like, wow.
Yeah.
That's all I got is wow.
Just holy wow.
Sorry, I know we're rambling here, but Jesus Christ.
You woke up this morning and ran in and were like, beep, beep.
No, it was, honestly, we were trying to figure out how we're just going to like rent the equipment because we didn't have enough to get the equipment for future stuff and everything like that at this point.
Like kind of piecemeal it, like borrow this, rent that, and see what we can throw together.
And now we're at least going to be able to get a minuscule something together, I think.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yes, Natalie, you are the bee's knees and the cat's pajamas.
And now that we've rambled on for a long time, thanking Natalie, which is very much, worthy.
As well we should.
Yeah. We should probably get into our episode, which today, again, we're covering Psalm 78. And what was the other ones that we're covering?
105 and 106 to conclude book 4 of the Book of Psalms.
Concluding book 4. Okay. Well, I should mention one last thing. The campaign is not fully funded yet. We do only have 82%. Natalie's got the biggest share, but, again, 53555, text it to help us finish up the last bit here, or there's a link in the show notes for that as well. All right. That being said, let's go ahead and get into this episode.
Okie dokie. All right. So I got to admit before we get into these that I'm not super excited. And I know you're not supposed to start an episode.
Right, yeah, don't start an episode like that.
I know, but I have to because the 3 that I'm about to read, they are the 3 great history psalms.
Okay.
That's like literally what they're called.
Yeah.
And they're a bit lengthy, and I didn't have a lot of notes about them.
Maybe this will be a history in the making with the comments that I'm going to lend to these psalms.
I'm hoping that the psalms themselves bring something to the table, because everything that I just said is about what I'm bringing to the table.
Got it.
So,
all right.
I just wanted to put that up front so that, you set your expectations super low.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're set super low.
Okay.
Real fucking low.
Just to explain again what's happening here, we skipped over Psalm 78, which was back in, I think, book 2 or 3.
It was in one of those books.
It was either 2 or 3. I don't remember.
Yeah.
And we're in book 4 now.
Right.
So what the fuck, right? Well, when I took notes on number 78 back when we were in those,
right?
It said that it is one of the 3 great history psalms, and so I was like, well, we should put those 3 history psalms together,
sure,
because it was odd to chop them up the way they did.
Okay.
So here we are going back in time to pick up the one that we skipped, Psalm 78. And this is a maskil of Asaph.
Okay.
And I won't say A$AP Rocky because that makes you so annoyed. O my people, hear my teaching. Listen to the words of my mouth.
Yeah.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
I mean, yes, so far I do.
Do you know what that's from?
Yeah, it's from the Jackie Chan and
Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker, yeah. And
what is it? Not Rush Hour. Is it Rush Hour?
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It was one of those that was really good.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. I will open my mouth in parables. I will utter hidden things from of old.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Okay. What we have heard and known, what our fathers have told us, we will not hide them from their children. We will tell the next generation the praiseworthy deeds of the Lord.
So indoctrination. Mm-hmm, got it. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay.
His power and the wonders he has done. He decreed statuses for Jacob and established the law in Israel, which he commanded our forefathers to teach our children, so the next generation would know them, even the children yet to be born, and they in turn would tell their children. So,
yeah, that's how you spread a religion. You teach the children that this is all true, and mm-hmm. don't worry about whether God is actually there or not. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's just true.
Speaking of cults, I got to interrupt here. Have you heard that there are a bunch of kids missing from people who have left, I think, the Church of Latter-day Saints? These moms who have left the cult.
Okay.
For a while, some of their kids were like running away to run back to the cult because, they think that their parent who left the church was wrong, has been, defiled and is now a voice of Satan or whatever.
Yeah.
But now they are actually reported missing. And there's this whole thing where apparently some part of the Church of Latter-day Saints, the guy that is in jail that is still leading that religion or whatever.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, so there's a big head honcho of the Church of Latter-day Saints.
I get that.
And he's in jail right now, and he's still leading from jail.
Okay.
And he is saying that there's like this big sacrifice thing that's coming up that's going to be happening. And so, and so nobody's talking about it because it's like, what stays in Vegas stays in Vegas. But
I'm going to have to do some research on this because this sounds like way over the top.
Right. Well, I heard it.
And I don't want to be spreading like false information here.
Okay, look, I heard it on
inflammatory.
Right. No, I heard it on one of my news podcasts, not one of the trash ones.
Okay.
So I don't remember if it was like a Wall Street Journal or like it wasn't NPR. It might have been a New York Times. It was one of those like
you were worrying me because it sounds a little like QAnon for Latter-day Saints,
Right. It's just that so what some of the police and these moms are worried about is that this is gearing up to, there's going to be another, what was that thing where a mass suicide happened?
Are you talking about like the Heaven's Gate thing?
Yeah.
That wasn't the Latter-day Saints.
I know, but they're worried that this is going to be something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, where,
right.
A bunch of church people like killed the kids and drink the Kool-Aid kind of thing.
Got it.
So
Got it.
that's a little scary.
Yeah.
And weird that like I only heard it on this one newscast and nowhere else.
I'm definitely gonna have to look into this.
Okay, I'll try to find what I heard it on so that you can share that link too.
Okay.
Because that had me concerned.
I am concerned as well, but I'm also concerned that I'm not discounting the fact that you heard this, but like that's a pretty big accusation.
Mm-hmm,
so
mm-hmm.
I just want to make sure that it's like legit.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, we will look into it. I will let you know where I heard it and we will share that link.
Sounds good.
Okay?
Sounds good.
Okay. So anyway, speaking of children and cults.
Yes.
That's where I was going with that.
Got it.
Then they would put their trust in God and would not forget his deeds, but would keep his commands, because that's what you do with children and cults.
Right.
Yeah. They would not be like their forefathers, a stubborn and rebellious generation.
Yeah, those people who never saw God but got told that he was there anyway.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Damn them.
Whose hearts were not loyal to God, whose spirits were not faithful to him, those fuckers.
Yeah.
The men of Ephraim, though armed with bows, turned back on the day of battle. They did not keep God's covenant and refused to live by his law. Those fuckers. They forgot what he had done, the wonders he had shown them. They forgot.
I guess. Yeah. Either that or it wasn't like shown to them.
Right.
In any meaningful way.
Exactly. He did miracles in the sight of their fathers in the land of Egypt. Remember we talked about this?
Yeah.
How it's like these people grew up having heard these stories of stuff that had happened, but like never actually saw it for themselves.
Right.
But were expected to act as though they had.
It's much like what we deal with. Like, I mean, we grew up in a world that was much more religious than the world we live in now, which that's to say that this world is still very religious.
Yeah.
But we grew up in a world hearing stories about religion and God and how it's,
miracles,
this real thing and miracles. But none of that shit ever happened in our lifetime. And for the most part, I never actually heard anybody tell me about a time that it happened in their lifetime either.
It didn't.
It kind of seemed like a lot of bullshit. It's just this perpetual backward motion of, remember when he did these things? No, nobody fucking remembers when he did these things because it never actually happened. Somebody
made it up and all of you are like, remember that time? And it's like, how do any of you remember that time?
They don't.
You don't.
Right.
Stop it. He did miracles in the sight of their fathers in the land of Egypt in the region of Zoan. He divided the sea and led them through. He made the water stand firm like a wall. Remember?
I do.
Remember that?
I mean, in the Bible, I remember.
Remember that
those
happened?
words being said.
Do you remember you saw that happen?
Nope, I did not see it happen. I would think twice if I saw water parting in front of me. I would be like it.
That's some David Copperfield bullshit, though.
Well,
I would be like looking for the strings.
I mean, I would too, but I mean, again, it would make me if I walked up to the sea, any sea, and it parted in front of me, I'm gonna be like, that's pretty crazy right there.
That's something to consider. That's some
high
class fleecing.
I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back and think about this one now.
Your grift is on high level.
I'll also be snapping a picture on my phone because
because
no one's gonna believe that shit.
You don't
even Christians wouldn't believe that shit.
No,
that's the funny thing. If you walked up to the sea and said, "I saw it part in front of me," they'd be like, "Bullshit! Right? What are you talking about?"
Exactly. Well, one time, like my mom was telling me about like how God tells her this and God tells her that, and she knows because God is in her heart, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then another time, like I have this penchant to always like correct a thing. Like if I see it wrong, I have to correct it.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, "Why do you do that?" And I said, "Because God tells me to. Like it's I have to do it. Like, I'm led to do it. I'm pushed to do it. I can't not correct it. If you don't have that comma or apostrophe, I was trying to speak her language.
Yeah.
And she was having none of it.
Got
and
it.
I'm like, how come, like, when I'm compelled, it's not God? But when you're compelled, it's totally God.
I think that we should just start taking religious shit extra seriously and be like, yeah, I saw this guy walking on water. I think Jesus is back, guys. I think, and there was like water parted. I mean, it was crazy. All the miracles all in one time.
Mad, I'm telling you. It's
insane. This is cool.
Did you see how doctors have cured people like with surgeries and stuff? Wait, no. That's not the right.
That's not what I was.
No, yeah, that's actual science.
But I was thinking, like, let's just let them think that Revelations is here, right? You think they would think we're sane or insane?
Well, I mean, it depends on how far you go. Like, if you say that, no, there was totally blood coming out of the bathtub drain.
Yeah.
Like, the waters are boiling.
Right.
Right. Boiling blood.
Yeah.
It's raining frogs or whatever.
Right.
Then they would be like, you're making fun.
But why? Being silly. Why? They believe it in this fucking book.
Because who are you to see something like that? You're not the person who should see it. They are. That's why my mom could not take me seriously when I was telling her that my compelling the thing compulsion. That was my compulsion was from God. Like, so what you're telling me is that yours is God, mine's a mental illness. Got it. Okay. It couldn't possibly be that either we both have God or we're both mentally ill, right?
Right.
No, you are religious. I'm just a psycho. Got it. Okay.
Right.
Okay, so he guided them with a cloud by day and with the light from the fire all night. He split the rocks in the desert and gave them water as abundant as the seas.
Yeah, I remember that all from Exodus in that book.
In that book of Exodus.
Yeah.
He brought streams out of a rocky crag and made water flow down like rivers.
Yep.
Yum, yum, yum. I love rocky water.
That book says.
Oh, that reminds me. Speaking of rocky water.
Rocky water.
Yeah, well, I just said I love rocky water.
Yeah. No, I got it.
Okay, so now there are water sommeliers. You've heard of wine sommeliers, right? Okay.
No.
Okay, a wine sommelier is a guy who swishes wine and, like, he's a connoisseur.
Okay, all right.
Like, he could tell you all the different...
Got it. I didn't know they had an actual name. I'm sorry.
Yeah, those guys are
wine
sommeliers.
Refined.
Yeah,
apparently.
Oh, me neither. You pretend, like, you do that Slurpee fucking thing with a... with your fucking lip and pretend... And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. You don't give a shit. You don't even really like wine that much. Why are you doing that?
Because the point's to taste it.
Okay, but...
in the best way possible.
But you don't care. So why are you doing the Slurpee thing? You don't like wine.
You're so judgmental.
I am.
I don't have a... Who cares?
I make fun of
Why are you upset about how I drink wine?
I'm upset because you don't even like wine.
But why does it matter? To you? It
matters because you're putting on airs.
Am I?
Yeah, when you do that Slurpee thing with your lip, you're going... You're trying to show me that you know how to taste wine properly. And I'm like, man, put that shit in a mason jar and chug it.
I'm just trying. But that's not how I mean, I wouldn't do that ever.
I have done that many times, and it is good. It is good. Okay, here's the thing. With water sommeliers.
Yeah.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
So now there are restaurants that you can go and you can have different types of water to complement your food. And there are types of water that are more rocky than others. And there's some that taste more like air. And there's others that taste more volcanic. Like, there's all these different styles and types of water.
Yeah.
And you should order the correct type of water to complement your food.
I see.
And also, did you know it's a no-no, apparently, to put ice? You're not supposed to put ice in your water.
I mean, it's better for you if you drink water at room temperature, for sure.
Okay.
It's better for your body. It's better for a lot of things.
But it's déclassé if you put ice in your water.
We don't want to... contaminate that special water with some other type of water.
You don't want to look like you're from a trailer park. And I'm like, guess what? I'm from a trailer park. That's why I chug my wine in a mason jar. And it's why I don't give a fuck where your fucking water comes from. And you probably think it tastes great, and I probably think it tastes like shit. Because
I don't know. I gotta say, there's a place up here near us called Yellow Springs, and there is actually a Yellow Springs, right?
I didn't actually realize that.
Yeah, and it's not because there's piss in the water. Okay, just to be clear.
Okay.
So there's iron in the water, and there's springs that come out, and like you know, when I was younger, we would go up there, and like you actually can drink from the streams and try it out, and it was so good
because it was just fresh out the ground.
Oh my god! And it's got this like irony taste to it, and it just, I don't know. I've never had water quite the same as that.
It's probably horrible for you.
I'm sure that you're probably right, but you know what? It tastes fucking good. Oh, and here's the other water that tastes good. When I was growing up, lived in a small town, and my grandparents lived out in the country, and they had a well, and there was a tin cup that hung from that well.
You said 10 cup, but I think you meant tin. Tin. A cup made of tin.
Tin.
Yeah.
Tin cup.
Sorry, I should say people from the Midwest have a really hard time with their I's and their E's.
Yeah.
So they say pin and pen as though they're the same word.
Fucking word.
But they're not, though.
It's the same word.
So I had to put that out there because you said 10 cup instead of tin cup.
Yeah. Anyway.
So go on.
So we would drink out of this cup, and not only was there a little bit of iron from the well water, but there was also the tin cup you're drinking from, and it's ice cold because it's coming out of a well. So fucking good. Like, there's never been better water than that in my entire life. It's the best water.
In your 10 cup.
My 10 cup.
In your 10 cup.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you write with a pen or a pen?
I write with a pen.
Oh my god. Okay, I have to just, I can't with Ohio. I just can't. Seriously, like one time I was arguing with an English major because they were trying to tell me that something rhymed with pin or pen. I don't remember. And I'm like, oh, you're from the Midwest. You really can't hear the difference.
Yeah.
If you're from the Midwest, you legitimately cannot hear the difference between the lowercase I and the lowercase e.
Very true.
And it's so weird to me because I'm not from here.
Sorry.
Okay. Well, I feel an obligation to let people listening understand because they are also not all from the Midwest.
Right. I understand that.
So you didn't drink out of a 10 cup. You drank out of a tin cup.
Right.
It matters.
Yeah. I mean,
to somebody who doesn't.
What the fuck would a number 10 cup be anyway?
Okay, whatever.
You know?
Anyways.
Context, it matters.
So water, okay? God water.
Yeah, God water.
Flowing down the river.
I wonder what God water tastes like.
Oh, God. Tastes like pee, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But they continued to sin against him, rebelling in the desert against the Most High.
Those fuckers.
They willfully put God to the test by demanding the food they craved.
Oh, yeah, when they called...
No, they didn't demand the food they craved. They demanded any food at all because they were fucking starving.
They were getting manna.
Okay, but they were like...
Can we have anything else?
It's
something,
nice
anything?
that you've given us mush for years now. I sure would like a fucking anything but mush.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine eating crackers for 40 years.
I mean, that's basically what it was.
Yeah.
So I really think that this is like
it's kind of and then he killed them over it. He's like, here's your fucking food.
Yeah.
And then like just made it rain birds from the sky and, killed people.
Mm-hmm. It was raining pheasants, I think.
Like, what a dick.
Yeah.
That's a dick move.
That was a dick move. Like, sorry, we're hungry for meat. We've been eating crackers for 40 years. My God, I think I'm allowed to be upset about this.
Right? Yeah.
Like, don't gaslight me and make me feel like I'm an asshole for missing something that has not been in my diet for several years now.
You sent us on this journey. When the fuck is it over? I just want some goddamn food. Like, real shit.
And anyway, maybe I wasn't like, I'll die if I don't get it. Maybe I was just like, oh, remember French fries?
Yeah,
French fries were
so good. So good.
Like when I lived overseas, when my dad was stationed overseas, we all missed McDonald's fries.
Yeah.
Like it was just a thing. We all collectively missed McDonald's fries.
Right.
It doesn't mean that you have to like kill a fucking potato farm and dump it on our heads.
Right.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay, they spoke against God, saying, can God spread a table in the desert? When he struck the rock, water gushed out and streams flowed abundantly. But can he also give us food, though? Can he supply meat for his people? When the Lord heard them, he was very angry.
Yeah, he was.
His fire broke out against Jacob, and his wrath rose against Israel, for they did not believe in God or trust in his deliverance.
They just wanted food.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I remember this. And
Yeah,
I remember being pissed
so
at the
much.
time. Yeah. Yet he gave a command to the skies above and opened the doors of the heavens. He rained down manna for the people to eat. He gave them the grain of heaven.
Wait. Okay.
Hold on.
So there's two separate times. Then he's apparently talking about the time he gave them manna. That was a nicer time.
Thank you for the manna.
Thank you for not making us starve to death.
Right.
I guess. But there was another time they asked, and that was for the pheasants and stuff.
That was when the pheasants fell on them.
And that was some fucked up shit that God did.
Yeah.
And that was wrath, and that was killing.
And I'm so sorry, but why are you mad that they are hungry?
Right. Yeah.
Like, literally, maybe you're from, like, another part of the universe and you're not comfortable or familiar enough with humans to recognize that they eat.
Right.
Like, maybe you're an alien. I don't know. But humans eat.
Yeah.
God, this makes me so mad.
Uh-huh.
Men ate the bread of angels. He sent them all the food they could eat. He let loose the east wind from the heavens and led forth the south wind by his power. He rained meat down on them like dust.
There it is.
Flying birds like sand on the seashore.
Yep.
He made them come down inside their camp, all around their tents. They ate till they had more than enough, for he had given them what they craved.
Wait, this is not... They're making this sound like a good thing. It was not a good... Go read that section in Exodus. It was not good.
It was shitty compliance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was,
yes,
you want food? I'll give you food. And then he dumped like a grocery store on top of their heads.
And there was some death involved in it, too.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't just a nice thing.
No, he was definitely being a shit. He was being a shit.
Yeah. Don't rewrite history, you fucking psalm.
Yeah, you fucking psalm. But before they turned from the food they craved, even while it was still in their mouths, God's anger rose against them because he was a petty little fuck.
Yep.
He put to death the sturdiest among them, cutting down the young men of Israel.
There we go.
Because they dared to be hungry.
Yeah, how dare they?
How dare you be hungry? I will kill you. In spite of all this, they kept on sinning. In spite of his wonders, they did not believe. So he ended their days in futility and their years in terror. Whenever God slew them, they would seek him. They eagerly turned to him again.
Whenever God slew them,
yeah,
they would turn to him. God, stop slewing us.
Right? God, please don't kill us anymore. We're sorry. We're sorry we were hungry. We're sorry we were thirsty. We're sorry we wanted new underwear.
I'm your God. I have to kill you to make you want to worship me.
Right?
I'm sorry. My bad.
Like, if he had planned better, he could have just, like, doled out water and manna and feasts along the way that they could have, like, written into their celebrations.
Yeah, it could have been a real joyful trip, you know? Like,
right?
It could have been a real good time. Party the whole way, you know, and worship God because he's, you know, being wonderful to them and everything.
You're asking too much of these people. You're asking too much of any person. I did one thing one time and you have to remember it for the rest of your life and never forget me, la la la.
Right.
And if you do, then I'm going to just, I don't know, kill you.
Yeah.
What? What? That is not the sign of a good leader.
No.
That is not good leadership. I don't like him.
It's not a good sign of a stable person, let alone a God.
No.
So
it's almost like a psychotic lunatic male wrote this.
Right, right.
And then we're all like, yeah, that tracks. God would totally be like that. And then the women are over here like, 2,000 plus years later going, wait, hang on. This reads a little...
I'm over here going the same thing, just to be clear. And there's a lot of men that are very not for the Bible.
You're right.
Going
You're
the
right.
same way.
You're right. It just, I don't know. It seems weird. The whole thing is weird and dumb and bad and wrong.
Right.
Whenever God slew them, they would seek him. They eagerly turned to him again. They remembered that God was their rock. That God Most High was their Redeemer. But then they would flatter him with their mouths, lying to him with their tongues.
Yeah.
Their hearts were not loyal to him. They were not faithful to his covenant. Yet he was merciful. He forgave their iniquities and did not destroy them, except for sometimes he fucking did.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, you can't say he didn't destroy them when you literally, like, 3 sentences ago said, and he destroyed them.
Right.
Why are we relitigating the entire fucking Exodus story? Fuck.
Don't know.
So annoying. Time after time, he restrained his anger and did not stir up his full wrath. Oh, thank goodness for that. Oh.
So what they're saying is he's more of a dick than he actually showed up.
Right. You think this is bad.
Right.
Just be grateful that I wasn't, like...
full dick.
Yeah.
Mode.
Yeah. Ooh. He remembered that they were but flesh, a passing breeze that does not return. He remembered. That's sweet of him.
Yeah, it is.
What a sweetheart.
Mm-hmm.
How often they rebelled against him in the desert and grieved him in the wasteland. Again and again they put God to the test. They vexed the Holy One of Israel. They did not remember his power. The day he redeemed them from the oppressor, the day he displayed his miraculous signs in Egypt, his wonders in all the region of Zoan. They turned their rivers to blood. They could not drink from their streams. He sent swarms of flies that devoured them and frogs that devastated them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember all those times.
He was also hardening the Pharaoh's heart so that, they had to keep coming back and doing these things.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even
their fault.
Right.
It wasn't even their fault.
Yeah.
God literally was doing this on purpose.
Right.
And was making Pharaoh be mad so that he would have to keep doing this.
Yeah.
This whole so frustrating.
It's bringing back memories of how angry I was early on reading the Bible because the stories were just so fucking stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. He gave their crops to the grasshopper, their produce to the locust. He destroyed their vines with hail and their sycamore figs with sleet. He gave over their cattle to the hail, their livestock to bolts of lightning. Yeah, okay. He unleashed against them his hot anger. Hot, nice anger. His wrath, indignation, and hostility, a band of destroying angels. He prepared a path for his anger. He did not spare them from death, but gave them over to the plague.
Yeah.
He struck down all the firstborn of Egypt because killing babies is awesome. That's a great show of power.
Good stuff there.
The first fruits of manhood in the tents of Ham. But he brought his people out like a flock. He led them like sheep through the desert. He guided them safely so they were unafraid. But the sea engulfed their enemies. Thus he brought them to the border of his holy land, to the hill country his right hand had taken. He drove out nations before them and allotted their lands to them as an inheritance. He settled the tribes of Israel in their homes.
I mean, it said that, but they also didn't because they didn't actually fully drive out everybody, which that was a point of contention for us. We got rid of everybody, but not really.
No.
We got rid of everybody again, but not really.
Still not really. Never.
They
never got rid of everybody. And they kept saying they did.
Yeah.
That was weird.
Not that it matters really, but why lie about it?
Right, exactly. It's such an odd thing to build into your story specifically.
Right.
But they put God to the test and rebelled against the Most High. They did not keep his statutes. Like their fathers, they were disloyal and faithless, as unreliable as a faulty bow. Could you imagine if everything in your life, the only thing that you could use to describe it was to compare it to a weapon? It was as pointy as a stick. It was as sharp as a rock that's sharp.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. They angered him with their high places. They aroused his jealousy with their idols. When God heard them, he was very angry. He rejected Israel completely.
Because he was jealous. He was jealous of other gods. That's why.
Yes.
Because God, this omniscient, perfect, all-knowing being, was jealous.
Yes.
I want to say it one more time. Jealous.
We still sing a song today. Our God is a jealous God, is he? Forever and ever something. blah, 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 blah. Our God is a jealous God.
But it's just a ridiculous concept.
I'm like, can you just listen to those lyrics?
If-
Like, literally, you're excited to sing about a God who is a jealous God.
The God who created the star Betelgeuse 4 million or billion light years away from us.
I was thinking the movie Beetlejuice, and you're talking about the star.
Yeah, no, and countless other galaxies and planets and star systems and what have you, right?
Mm-hmm.
This God,
mm-hmm.
hypothetically in canon,
mm-hmm.
this God is jealous because you have a statue of some other fucking God.
Yeah,
that's what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
That's for real. That's a real thing.
You made all the things, but this rock got you worried.
Right? I mean, it's such an absurd concept.
Okay, but speaking of Beetlejuice,
the
movie,
right?
They're working on a sequel. What?
Oh,
Winona Ryder gonna be in it? Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Guess who is playing the new goth
Beetlejuice?
girl?
Oh
no, Michael
Goth
Keaton's
girl.
coming back.
Okay, I was gonna say you can't do Beetlejuice without him.
No, yeah, he's coming back as Beetlejuice.
Okay.
But you have to have a goth girl, right?
Okay, yeah.
So think of who is the best goth girl around today.
Best goth girl around today.
Wednesday
Addams.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jenna Ortega. Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
She is coming to play it. I'm here for it.
I gotta interject something else real quick here while we're still not even done with this psalm.
I know.
We have hit over a half an hour on this podcast already.
Oh.
I think we might need to break this into sections.
Okay.
This might need to be a one psalm and done today.
Oh, gosh.
So,
okay.
Because otherwise, even if we go to a second one, we're going to an hour on this episode.
Okay.
So.
Well, I blame you.
You blame me?
Yeah.
I blame you. You started off this podcast saying that it was going to be boring, and then I was like, I need to make this one for the history books. So I was like, I'm going to do good. And I'm going to say good shit.
You were saying good shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm bringing the pop culture references.
I think, if anything, I proved you wrong and made this a really fantastic episode.
I think.
With your help, of course.
That's what I was hoping for. That's why I was telling you up front. This is going to suck. Give it your all.
Okay.
Bring it.
I brought it.
You brought it. It's been brought in.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let's finish up 78 and see where we sit.
We're going to be sitting too long. I can tell you that.
He rejected Israel completely. He abandoned the tabernacle of Shiloh, the tent he had set up among men. He sent the ark of his might into captivity, his splendor into the hands of the enemy.
It's a real shame. They put a lot of work into that tabernacle.
I know.
Like, we spent so long reading about the making of that fucking tabernacle.
I know, and then they were like, boom, gone. He gave his people over to the sword. He was very angry with his inheritance.
Yeah.
What?
I don't...
Your magic.
Yeah.
You're worried about your inheritance? What?
He's able to harden Pharaoh's heart, but he can't make his people worship him. I don't... Like,
it sounds to me like, are you only a god of badness and not goodness?
Well, and this is what people would say. They'd be like, God has given you free will. And I'm like, right, yeah.
But not Pharaoh. He
didn't give Pharaoh free will. And then the question comes in, does God know what's going to happen in the future? Is he omniscient? Because you guys claim he's omniscient also. Right. So if he's omniscient...
That means it's written in stone.
I didn't have a choice, and he already fucking knew, and he's getting mad anyway.
Yeah.
Like, well, that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard of.
It's having your cake and eating it too, but then there's still one in the freezer as well.
Right. If he knows what's going to happen, why would he get angry about it?
Right.
So he's not... okay, there's three choices, and I know which one I'm going to pick. Mm-hmm. He's either not omniscient, mm-hmm. and that goes against things people say about God, mm-hmm. or he is omniscient, and we have no free will, and everything's predetermined, and therefore, why is he mad? Or 3, he doesn't fucking exist.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, that was the one I was going to go with, too. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I had to get there, roundabout first.
Sure.
Right.
Give all the other options.
I wanted to present all the options available, mm-hmm. and then, yeah.
Okay.
So.
Fire consumed their young men, and their maidens had no wedding songs.
Oh, that's so sad.
Their priests were put to the sword, and their widows could not weep. Then the Lord awoke as from sleep, as a man wakes from the stupor of wine. I didn't know God went to
Oh,
sleep.
so he was like drunk asleep. He was like a hangover.
I didn't know he was asleep. What?
I didn't know he could sleep.
What is this?
Why would he sleep? Why does he need to sleep?
I don't. But he woke up as from a stupor of wine. He beat back his enemies. He put them to everlasting shame. Then he rejected the tents of Joseph. He did not choose the tribe of Ephraim, but he chose the tribe of Judah, Mount Zion, which he loved. Okay.
Okay.
This is weird.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't know he fell asleep.
I didn't either.
I knew he was absent.
He did rest at the end of the creation thing, remember?
Right, but that was way back in Genesis.
Yeah.
We're like way past that.
Right.
He built his sanctuary like the heights, like the earth that he established forever. He chose David as servant and took him from the sheep pens. From tending the sheep, he brought him to be the shepherd of his people, Jacob of Israel, his inheritance. And David shepherded them with integrity of heart, with skillful hands. He led them. The end of 78.
So at some point between, I'm not even sure, Moses or Joseph and then David or whatever, shit fell apart, and
he was
or
asleep.
like even along the way, maybe somewhere. I'm not sure when this happened.
Right.
But at some point he fell asleep and then woke up, and then he was like, "Oh fuck, I'm gonna fix shit now."
Yeah.
Okay.
That tracks.
And here's David. David's gonna fix it all. But then he fell back asleep apparently because there was all those shitty kings. Remember all those shitty kings?
I remember them because we had to read about them twice over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently he went back to sleep because he was just tired or something.
And then he's been asleep ever since.
It's been a long fucking time apparently. I don't know.
He's asleep in space.
Yeah.
He's an alien. All right. Psalm 78 is God's faithfulness to his unfaithful people, and it's a new beginning in Zion and David. It starts, "Give ear, O my people, to my law," and it is the second longest psalm with 72 verses.
Yeah.
But hold on to your butts, because eventually when we hit Psalm 119,
yeah,
that one has 176 verses.
Wow.
And if you thought this was long,
well, that one's going to have to be a standalone then.
Yeah.
Because this one's we're at 40 minutes again.
Jeez.
So, yeah.
This was only the first of the three great history psalms, the others being the ones I was going to get to, 105 and 106.
Yeah.
And that's my notes.
Okay.
For 78.
Well, I think we did a lot of
Damage?
commentary throughout, so,
Yeah.
maybe the notes weren't as special this time.
They weren't.
As our commentary throughout, because
Right.
that was fun.
It kind of was, actually. I mean, I am curious, like, what other history do you have that, I mean, are we going to read the same thing again in 105 and then again in 106?
I hope not. That would really suck.
I hope not, too.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a long fucking psalm.
That was a long fucking psalm.
And I would hate to have to memorize that to rehearse that for some sort of spell or something.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
But yeah, so we shortened this a bit. It's definitely not going to be for all three psalms that we said earlier.
Right.
And that was Psalm 78.
It was.
And tomorrow, hypothetically, I don't think these look as long.
They aren't as long. We should be able to do numbers 105 and 106.
So we'll finish up with Book 4 and the histories or whatever of Psalms things here that we're doing.
Right.
So, all right. Well, we'll see you then.
Yeah. Sorry about all the confusion.
Well, I mean, we're confused. We're just right here like, what?
How are we doing
we're done?
this? What are we
I guess
doing?
that's all we're doing. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye. Husband!
Wife!
You might remember where we are, because even though we're in Psalms, we meant to read some things yesterday and didn't get to them because we ran out of time.
Yeah, we ran way over on time.
Do you
for the
remember
one.
where we are?
So we just read Psalm 78.
Correct.
And we are
You
now...
finally got that number right. That's exciting.
I know, right? And we are now going into Psalms, I think, 104 and 105?
Correct. Not.
Not correct. 105 and 106?
That's correct.
I was so close.
You were so close.
And just want to throw something out there as a clarification today. So yesterday when we were talking about the cult that was going to
do a Jonestown repeat,
maybe, or whatever.
And I said it was the Mormons.
Yeah, it's the FLDS cult inside, like the subcult of Mormonism.
Of the larger cult of
Yeah, it's
Mormonism.
not the Mormon church. It's FLDS is what it is.
Right.
So,
but it is a legitimate concern, and it is a legitimate story.
Yes,
it was reported by ABC News, and one of our friends and listeners sent us an update. The Guardian also is reporting on it. So,
yeah, and I shared a link on it from ABC about it today too on Twitter.
It is happening, and I said
we hope it's not happening.
No, but I mean it is a news story. That's
right.
what I meant.
Yeah.
So I wasn't entirely insane. I had the Mormons, but I had the wrong Mormons.
Got it. Yeah.
It was more culty of the cults.
Yeah. The more culty one.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all.
So I already said it, but what are the ones we're doing today?
Psalms 105 and 106.
You ready to do this?
I am. Are you?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, so recall that we are reading those historical ones.
I do recall.
Those historical psalms.
Yeah.
And that that's why we read 78. It was a throwback episode kind of because it was one that we skipped several weeks ago.
Right.
Because it actually is one of the 3 great history psalms.
I feel like we could have just skipped reading Exodus and read that psalm.
That summed it up so well, all the way up to David. Yeah.
I mean, it's
true.
But that's why we were getting so heated, because Exodus really pissed us off.
Yeah.
About a lot of things.
It's true.
And so they're rehashing the whole fucking thing in that psalm, and we're
true.
like, no, fuck you.
It's true. So see, we wouldn't have known to be upset.
Right.
So it is a good thing we read it.
And because we read it, there was some shorthand that we wouldn't have known if they,
Right.
If we hadn't read Exodus. So
I appreciate having read it. I just wouldn't ever want to do it again.
Right.
All right. So Psalm 105. Give thanks to the Lord. Call on his name. Make known among the nations what he has done. Sing to him. Sing praise to him. Tell of all his wonderful acts. Glory in his holy name. He is so fucking awesome.
Not at all.
Let the hearts of those who seek the Lord rejoice. Look to the Lord and his strength. Seek his face always.
Why do they always say seek his face, but God specifically
hides his face.
Says all the time that he will not show people his face.
Right.
So,
but
except for there is a couple instances where he is talking right in front of people and stuff.
Right, but that's the point though. You seek his face because you will never find it hypothetically.
Okay.
The point is not to see his face. The point is to continue seeking.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're supposed to.
It's the journey, not the destination. Yeah. You're supposed to continually be looking for ways to appease God.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm reading into it, but that's what I'm getting out of it.
So, you seek his face, but all you ever get is his farts.
I was going to say his ass, but yeah, what you said is way better.
Right.
Speaking of asses and farts, so you know how I babysit a toddler?
I do.
So he's in the process of potty training.
Yeah.
And today I was changing him, and he's 2.5, and I lifted his booty up to put a new pull-up on him.
Yeah.
And he farted right in my hand, and he started cracking up.
That's amazing.
He thought it was the funniest fucking thing, and I was like...
That is pretty damn funny.
I go, dude, you just farted on me. I said it just like that.
If you didn't say it like that, maybe you wouldn't think that it was funny and that it was a bad thing.
Well, it was funny. And so I was like, dude, you just farted on me. And he goes, I know. and then I was like, excuse me, sir, do you want to say something? And he goes, excuse me. And it was the cutest. Okay, sorry. Anyway, toddler farts are all right, but whatever. Okay. Remember the wonders he has done? Not the farter. We're talking about God.
Right.
Yeah. Remember those wonders he has done? His miracles and the judgments he pronounced? Oh, the descendants of Abraham, his servant. Oh, sons of Jacob, his chosen ones. He is the Lord our God. His judgments are in the earth. There they are. They're in the earth.
Okay.
Yeah.
We just got to dig for them.
Dig through the ditches that burn. Yeah, okay. He remembers his covenant forever. The word he commanded for 1,000 generations. The covenant he made with Abraham. The oath he swore to Isaac, he confirmed it to Jacob as a decree, to Israel as an everlasting covenant. To you I will give the land of Canaan as the portion you will inherit. Except that he didn't give it to Moses because he was like, psych, you can't come in here.
Right.
So, I mean, he was like, you could have some.
They also took it back away.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean,
yeah.
So there's been some issues with that.
I'm just saying. He's like, you could have some. Here, keep going. And then he was like, I had a bad day. I'm in such a shitty mood, so you're going to die at the finish line.
Right.
When they were but few in number, few indeed, and strangers in it, they wandered from nation to nation, from one kingdom to another. He allowed no one to oppress them. For their sake he rebuked kings. Do not touch my anointed ones. Do my prophets no harm. I don't think that's exactly how that went.
Well, so I recall that was said to some of them maybe by God, like according to the Bible.
Right.
But also there were some that didn't let them pass through their land.
Yeah, and they went around.
And God didn't change that. So,
Like their local God was like, nah, go around.
Right.
No, you may not pass.
Right.
Sorry, Gandalf said nay.
Yeah. But there were some that they killed because they said no too. Some they didn't. Some they didn't. They allowed to say no, and some they killed because they said no.
Right.
It just depended on the day or the chapter. Whatever.
I think it depended on that local God.
Right. Probably.
Personally, since we learned that other word that other day.
Also, probably the size of their army.
Yeah.
I think we talked about that at the time.
Yeah, I think you're right on that too. Let's see. Do my prophets no harm. He called down famine on the land and destroyed all their supplies of food. And he sent a man before them, Joseph, sold as a slave. They bruised his feet with shackles. His neck was put in irons, till what he foretold came to pass, till the word of the Lord proved him true. The king sent and released him. The ruler of people set him free. He made him master of his household, ruler over all he possessed, to instruct his princes as he pleased and teach his elders wisdom. Do you remember that Joseph kid?
I do, yeah.
They wrote a musical about him.
They did.
It was a really good musical, honestly.
Oh, yeah, it was good.
It was good. You guys should see it. Then Israel entered Egypt. Jacob lived as an alien in the land of Ham. The Lord made his people very fruitful. He made them too numerous for their foes, whose hearts he turned to hate his people, to conspire against his servants. He sent Moses his servant and Aaron whom he had chosen. They performed his miraculous signs among them, his wonders in the land of Ham. He sent darkness and made the land dark. For had they not rebelled against his words? ? Had they not? I don't know. He turned their waters into blood, causing their fish to die. That's nice.
We're recounting the same history, basically, that we talked about yesterday, or at least some of the same history.
Some of it, yeah. We're hitting on stuff that we missed yesterday that we just mentioned in passing, and then they're like, let's expand on that one.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, is that what the next one's going to be about too? Their land teemed with frogs. Yeah, it did. Which went up into the bedrooms of their rulers. He spoke. Got a froggy in my bed.
Yeah.
He spoke, and there came swarms of flies and gnats throughout their country. Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Da-na-na. Remember?
The song? Or
the song.
Yeah. I do remember that song.
Because they had frogs in their bedroom.
I could still play that song even. Because,
you can play it. On what?
It's on anything.
What do you mean? What do you mean you can play it? You can play it on a piano, on a guitar?
On Google.
You mean
on the
YouTube and stuff? Okay, when you said I can still play it, I was like, I thought you personally.
No, instead of having to remember it, I was saying I can just play it right now anytime.
We were not speaking the same language just then. Because when you said you could still play it, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? My husband is not a musician. Has never played that.
I can play the scales on the trumpet.
Okay.
And I can play Three Blind Mice on a recorder.
Mm-hmm.
I can do the Jaws, thing on a keyboard. I used to be able to do a metallic intro on a guitar.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's impressive. Okay.
That's about the extent of it.
Wow.
I'm not real. I mean, I was first seat trumpet when I was in middle school, but that's been a long time ago.
Our kid taught themselves how to play that Seven Nation Army.
Yeah, our
on
kid
the
has
keyboard.
really good like ear,
What's
a
that?
really good ear for like just picking out
Yeah.
notes and stuff.
Yeah.
So they can kind of self-teach themselves to
Mhm.
play stuff sometimes,
Yeah.
which is really cool.
Yeah, if they pursued it more, they'd be pretty amazing.
Yeah.
As it is, it's just merely impressive.
And just something they like to play
Yeah.
around with.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Much like all their other artistic endeavors, they're just good at shit, you know.
Right.
Just
right.
good at everything they try,
Yeah.
basically. Taught themselves how to crochet overnight. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatevs. He turned their rain into hail with lightning throughout their land. He struck down their vines and fig trees and shattered the trees of their country.
Damn it.
I hate it when my trees shatter.
I hate it when I don't have figs. You know, like fig.
I like fig Newtons.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, don't take my figs away. I can't have fig Newtons then.
I don't know what a fig looks like.
I also don't know what a fig looks like. I
Oh
know what
my
a fig Newton.
gosh.
See, like whenever I imagine figs, I imagine fig Newtons.
Me too.
And I'm like, is there a tree out there that has fig Newtons just hanging from it?
Like, I know that that's not true, but then I'm like, okay, so the fig is the goo in the middle,
Right.
but I
But
don't
obviously
know.
you can't have a tree with just goo hanging off.
Right,
Of it.
so clearly that's the middle of the fruit. But I'm
Right.
like, but what does that fruit?
I
what
mean,
does the
that's
outside
a
look
paste
like?
that they make from
Right,
the
but
fig.
what does the outer skin?
I have
of
no idea.
What does a fig resemble?
I don't know what a fig looks like.
Okay, we are totally gonna Google that shit because I need to know what a fig looks like.
Right? Yeah.
And would I like a fig not surrounded by Newton?
I don't know.
I don't either.
That's a good question.
Would you?
I mean, I think I know what a fig leaf looks like because that's the one they always use to portray, like, you know.
Oh yeah, he hides his cock and balls.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know what a fig looks like.
Huh.
So.
How is it that you and I, neither one of us, like surely one of us should know what a fucking fig looks like, right?
Well, we don't have a lot of fig trees or whatever
In Ohio.
that I'm
Yeah, I
aware of
guess.
anyway.
Maybe we do. We're just stupid.
If there are, I've never seen them.
We should just say it. We're stupid. He spoke, and the locusts came. Yeah, they did. Grasshoppers without number. They ate up every green thing in their land, ate up the produce of their soil. Then he struck down all the firstborn in their land. Remember how he likes to kill babies?
I do, yeah.
The first fruits of their manhood. Yeah, we read about that yesterday, too.
But
Yeah.
it still, this whole thing was God's fault.
Yeah, because
I don't want to like let that pass because, yeah, he hardened Pharaoh's heart. Yeah. So it's God's fault.
Yeah. So first he did a bad, and then he did lots of bad and killed lots of people.
He likes to say Egypt did the bad, but he made Egypt do the bad.
Yeah. And then punished them for the bad that he made them do.
Right. And I'm not saying maybe they didn't. There was stuff maybe they did prior to that wasn't so great.
But he could just as easily have fixed it.
They tried to leave without doing any of this stuff, and God wouldn't let them without hardening Pharaoh's heart.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Fuck all of that.
Yeah.
Fuck all that noise.
Right.
He brought out Israel laden with silver and gold, and from among their tribes no one faltered. I mean, not that
one,
day
huh?
anyway.
I guess.
Egypt was glad when they left. Yeah, they were. Because dread of Israel had fallen on them. I mean, shit, man. If I had all of these fucking pestilence and my baby's dead and I have like rains of frogs and locusts and, it ate all my crop and fields and shit. Yeah. I'm going to be a little bit like, can they just go now, please?
If I thought it was their fault, yeah,
right.
for sure.
Like, Pharaoh, can you please fucking let them go? God of those guys, can you please just let Pharaoh let them go? Please?
I've never known an actual group of people to cause plagues and swarms.
Right.
So or multiple deaths.
True. That is true.
At least not just by existing.
No, you're right. You're right. He brought them out, blah, blah, blah. He spread out a cloud as a covering and a fire to give light at night. They asked, and he brought them quail and satisfied them with the bread of heaven. Yeah, that's how that went.
Right. Yeah, no, that didn't, it wasn't quite that, yeah.
Nope. He opened the rock, and water gushed out like a river. It flowed in the desert. For he remembered his holy promise given to his servant Abraham. He brought out his people with rejoicing, his chosen ones with shouts of joy. He gave them the lands of the nations, and they fell heir to what others had toiled for, that they might keep his precepts and observe his laws. Praise the Lord.
No thanks. I feel like we could have skipped 78 and just read that, and it would have been basically the same thing.
It was the same thing.
Right.
But it was also not quite true. Like, that's not quite how that story went, you know?
No, yeah, like when he was talking about the quails.
Yeah.
Like, yes, he brought quails, but he did it in a harmful, bad way.
Yes.
So
Psalm 105 notes, okay?
Yeah.
This is the Lord's wonders on behalf of Israel, and it starts, "Oh, give thanks unto the Lord." In Psalms 105 and 106, the two historical psalms which end book 4 of the Psalms are closely related. So This next one's going to be very similar.
Sure.
And pick up and stuff.
Yeah.
Psalm 105 gives thanks for God's faithfulness to the covenant he made with Abraham, while Psalm 106 is a psalm of penitence, reciting the history of Israel's faithlessness and disobedience.
Oh boy,
can't wait for this. Now we get to hear, the bad stuff. Okay. There we go. Psalm 106. Praise the Lord. Because that's how the last one ended. Praise the Lord. And now this one starts. Praise the Lord. Mm-hmm. Okay. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. Who can proclaim the mighty acts of the Lord or fully declare his praise? Blessed are they who maintain justice, who constantly do what is right. Remember me, O Lord, when you show favor to your people. Okay. Oh, and come to my aid when you save them, that I may enjoy the prosperity of your chosen ones, that I may share in the joy of your nation and join your inheritance in giving praise.
Gimme, 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 gimme.
I want it all.
Yeah.
We have sinned, even as our fathers did. We have done wrong and acted wickedly. When our fathers were in Egypt, they gave no thought to your miracles. They did not remember your many kindnesses, and they rebelled by the sea, the Red Sea. Yet he saved them for his name's sake, to make his mighty power known.
I don't really believe that they didn't remember. Like, this shit's all written down in the Bible.
Right.
Like, over and over and over and over and over again.
Hold on, but wait. He saved them to make his mighty power known? Like, you didn't do it just to, help your people.
Definitely
you did
not.
It
so
that you could be like, look what I did. I'm great. Say I'm great. Say it.
That's exactly right. This dude loves to be worshipped. And he's, like, the way he's portrayed, and we talked about this yesterday, he's a jealous God. Mm-hmm. He's very
petulant, childish.
Yeah. No, I mean, he definitely, he even said that he doesn't really like the Israelites.
Yeah.
He just likes them, they're the least. He hates them the least. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like one of my favorite things I read in the Bible. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's a big sentence that ought to be boosted up on billboards.
Yeah.
He rebuked the Red Sea and it dried up. He led them through the depths as through a desert. He saved them from the hand of the foe. From the hand of the enemy, he redeemed them. The waters covered their adversaries. Not one of them survived. Then they believed his promises and sang his praise. Did they now?
Was it only after they covered up the enemies? Mm-hmm. Or was it when the entire sea split in front of them?
No, it was after the sea then went back together and killed their enemies.
A sea splitting in front of me.
Yeah, that would be something.
It would definitely be something.
Yep. But they soon forgot what he had done and did not wait for his counsel.
If I saw that, I saw that happen, I don't think I would soon forget that.
No,
and
I wouldn't
and
either.
If I lived back in these times, before science was big and all that, I think I'd have been like pretty fearful of the God that did that.
Okay,
I'd be like, wow, that's pretty crazy.
What's the weirdest thing that ever happened in your life that you saw that was just weird? Did anything weird ever happen in front of your face that you
not that I can. I mean, other than I think I accidentally kicked a piece of trash into the trash can one time by bouncing it off a wall, and
But you
like,
remember it, and that's not even a big deal, right?
Right, sure.
Okay, like the weirdest thing that, like, quote unquote unexplainable, even though it is explainable, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So when I was like in 3rd grade, me and this girl that spent the night, I want to say her name was Donna. She and I were reaching for my bedroom doorknob at the same time, and the door opened by itself, and nobody was in there, and the door had been shut. And I know the door was shut because we had a dog, and the dog wasn't allowed in the room.
Got it.
Because we had toys in there. So, I mean, it wasn't even like, okay, yeah, you probably just left the door open, though. Like,
sure.
Absolutely not. That would be like accusing me of leaving the toilet seat up. No, absolutely not.
Got it.
That didn't happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, then there was it was probably a draft. Right, from the window that was never opened once the entire time I lived there, because, like, I'm not a person that ever opens windows, ever. Like, what are you talking about? I was in 3rd grade. I didn't open my window.
Got it.
But, so, like, I'm absolutely positive that, like, probably I hadn't shut it good, right? And so, like, as we both approached it at the same time, like, the wind of us pushed it open. Or, like, maybe her hand reached it slightly before mine and actually nudged it, right? Like, it's clearly explainable, but what my point is that that's the most odd, unexplainable, quote unquote, thing that's ever happened. And I fucking remember that. And it wasn't even miraculous.
What about the marshmallows at the last house?
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
I wasn't there for that, but
okay.
You explained it to be pretty.
It was scary, kind of. Yeah. It was kind of scary. So, okay, in the last house we lived in, the cat and I were sitting on the couch. So that's how I know it wasn't the fucking cat, y'all.
Right.
Okay. The cat and I were sitting on the couch, and we hear this, like, thump. And we're like, the fuck? And I look, because I'm like, oh, that's probably the cat making a noise. And then I'm like, wait, the fucking cat's with me. And she's looking the same direction I am. Like, the fuck was that? So we go over, and, oh, there's a bag of marshmallows on the fucking floor. Like, way across the fucking room from where they had been sitting. So it's not like they just fell off the shelf and, like, shit falls sometimes.
No, they were, like, about a good 7 to 8 feet away from where they started.
Yeah, and here's how I know, because I had set them next to the coffee maker, because I was making hot chocolate, like that was the idea in my head.
Yeah.
So that's where they were. And there was no other cabinet. Like, it's not like I think I put them by the coffee maker, but I put them instead by on a different cabinet. They were in the fucking laundry room.
Yeah, they were in the middle of the floor in the laundry room.
Yeah. Like, it was the most odd, terrifying thing. I swore the house was haunted after that. But nothing else weird ever happened after that.
Right.
But yeah, like, my point in saying all of this shit is that, like, when something weird happens, like, you remember it.
Yeah.
And these weren't miraculous things. These were just like, that was weird.
Right.
So if you saw something that was not just like, that was weird and miraculous, right? You're going to remember that. Yeah. You're not just going to be like, but they forgot about all those fucking weird ass miracles that happened.
Right.
You know how people just, like, don't remember marshmallows flying across the room or, like, doors opening, right? They don't remember when they kicked something, and if they tried 100 times in a row, they'd have missed, but that one time they kicked it, it went right in the trash can accidentally.
Right.
Right? Like, yeah, we don't remember that stuff. What?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here, stupids. They soon forgot what they had done and did not wait for his counsel, because they're a bunch of dumbheads.
Yeah.
In the desert, they gave in to their craving. In the wasteland, they put God to the test. So he gave them what they asked for.
Here it is.
Sent a wasting disease upon them.
Oh my God.
What an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, I just hate him so much,
I hate that he... Yes. If we're assuming that we're talking about a God, I hate this God.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. He's so bad. He's mean. He's a bad God. He's bad at godding.
He's just petty.
Do you even Elohim? In the camp, they grew envious of Moses and of Aaron, who was consecrated to the Lord. The earth opened up and swallowed Dathan. Dathan? It buried the company of Abiram. Fire blazed among their followers. A flame consumed the wicked. There go some dead people.
Yep.
The way God just likes to willy-nilly, just like dead.
So I could never understand, though, like they were talking about Moses and Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
I could never understand how Aaron just got a free pass for making the golden calf. Remember, because he made, like, Moses comes down and Aaron was the one that had made the golden calf.
Yeah.
And then they slaughtered 3,000 people that were worshiping the damn thing. But Aaron's the one that made it.
Right.
And so, like, was Aaron like, oh, yeah, my bad, man. Sorry, here. Those guys suck. Over there.
Yeah.
Those guys
I was only doing it to try to keep the peace.
Yeah, they were going to totally...
I didn't believe
They were
it
going
or
to, like, hurt me or something if I didn't do that, so...
Yeah. I was still doing my right prayers. What? Okay, they grew envious of... Okay, at Horeb they made a calf and worshipped an idol cast from metal. I really like this summary. They made a calf.
Yeah.
They did it. Aaron is not being described as being involved in this at all.
Right.
Much less being the one that gathered all the gold together
and
made it happen.
Right.
They did that, They exchanged their capital G glory for an image of a bull which eats grass. They forgot the God who saved them, who had done great things in Egypt, miracles in the land of Ham, and awesome deeds by the Red Sea. So he said he would not destroy them. Had not Moses, his chosen one, stood in the breach before him to keep his wrath from destroying them? Then they despised the pleasant land. They did not believe his promise. Remember, they were like, it's milk and honey over there, but we're scared of the giants.
Yeah.
They grumbled in their tents, grumble, and did not obey the Lord. I mean, we were getting annoyed with these people at that point.
Yeah.
Honestly.
But
I have a feeling that the way they were being described back then, was not,
not a fair...
I'm thinking it wasn't
accounting.
fair. Yeah. So he swore to them with uplifted hand that he would make them fall in the desert, make their descendants fall among the nations, and scatter them throughout the lands. Well, that promise came true. What a dick. They yoked themselves to the Baal of Peor and ate sacrifices offered to lifeless gods. They provoked the Lord to anger by their wicked deeds, and a plague broke out among them. But Phinehas stood up and intervened, and the plague was checked.
If these other gods don't exist, right? As said or not said, whatever, who cares?
Right.
They're worshiping lifeless idols, right? And sacrificing animals to them and then eating them. So it's essentially like having a barbecue, right? How does this hurt? If you are an actual god,
right?
How does this hurt you?
Oh, it doesn't.
Right.
It doesn't.
Right.
Oh. This was credited to him as righteousness for endless generations to come. By the waters of Meribah, they angered the Lord, and trouble right here in River City came to Moses because of them, for they rebelled against the Spirit of God, and rash words came from Moses' lip. They did not destroy the peoples as the Lord had commanded them, but they mingled with the nations and adopted their customs. They worshipped their idols, which became a snare to them. They sacrificed their sons and their daughters to demons.
Damn.
Demons.
It's rough.
They shed innocent blood, the blood of their sons and daughters, whom they sacrificed to the idols of Canaan, and the land was desecrated by their blood. They defiled themselves by what they did. By their deeds, they prostituted themselves. Not that.
No.
Therefore the Lord was angry with his people and abhorred his inheritance. He handed them over to the nations, and their foes ruled over them. Their enemies oppressed them and subjected them to their power. Many times he delivered them, but they were bent on rebellion, and they wasted away in their sin. But he took note of their distress when he heard their cry. For their sake he remembered his covenant, and out of his great love he relented.
How sweet of him.
After he let them suffer a whole hell of a lot.
For generations.
He was like, fine, here's an EpiPen. Right? Like, isn't that what it's like? You're watching somebody that you love suffer and struggle on the ground, and then you're like, ugh.
I guess I'll go get the thing that'll help them.
Right. Oof. He caused them to be pitied by all who held them captive. Save us, O Lord our God, and gather us from the nations, that we may give thanks to your holy name and glory in your praise. Praise be to the Lord, the God of Israel, from everlasting to everlasting. Let all the people say, Amen! Praise the Lord.
No thanks.
Done.
All right. That was the end of book 4.
Yeah.
All right.
Only got one book of the Bible left.
Yay. Not Bible.
One book of Psalms. Sorry,
Yeah.
I got a little overzealous there. I was like, we're done. Wait, no, we're not. All right. So Psalm 106 is the rebelliousness of Israel. And it starts, praise ye the Lord. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord. And that's my whole notes for it.
Wow. There's nothing.
It's a history.
It's a history.
And it was about that time that they pissed God off a lot.
Yeah.
That God was like, fine.
So since we don't have any notes, I want to cover one thing real quick. And that's that since we're going into the last book of Psalms, I think you and I had discussed at the end of this book, we're going to be probably having some special episodes, different things, but you and I, as far as actual reading the episodes, are going to take a week break.
Yeah, we're going to take a week.
It's just this podcast is a lot.
It's exhausting.
And we kind of need a reset, I think.
Yeah.
So
then we'll come back and we'll do Proverbs, which is just as stupid.
That's more the reason maybe why we need a reset, because it's like we're going from one stupid to another stupid.
Yeah, so we gotta like gird our loins and gear up for it,
All right, so that being said, I think we are done for today. That was Psalms chapters 105 and 106.
Correct.
And tomorrow we will be back with hypothetically
Psalms 107, 108, and 109.
Awesome. All right, we'll see you guys then.
All righty.
Bye.
Bye. Husband.
Wife.
Do you remember where we're at even though we're in Psalms?
No.
We're starting book 5.
Oh, that's right. We're starting a new book of Psalms. The last book of Psalms.
The last book of the book of Psalms.
That's exciting.
Yeah. And I can tell you that we're going to be reading 3 of them today, and the third one is a real doozy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're not going to make it a downer today? You're not going to
No.
Okay. So hang in there.
Stick around for
the third one.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Before we get into anything else, I do want to mention that we had somebody contribute to our fundraiser for our live equipment for
our equipment for the live event.
That's what I meant. Wow.
Hello.
Anyway, so Carmen,
thank
you so much. Carmen is a current patron with us as well.
Aww,
and so the extra added bonus for us was a much appreciated gift, and really, really thank you.
Yes.
It's like a ton, and thanks.
A ton, thanks. Thanks a ton.
If anybody else would like to give, I think today is probably the last day.
Oh.
So you can just like I said in the intro before, I guess I say it again, text SACDIS to 53555 or click the link in the show notes, and you can help us out today on the last day.
Yep.
I think we still have like $80 to go.
Oh, well, so please help.
Yeah.
So we can get our equipment for our live event.
Yeah. That being said, today, what are we going over?
We are, as I said, starting book 5, the final book of the book of Psalms. We are covering Psalms 107, 108, and 109.
Awesome. Let's go do this.
Okie dokie. All right, here we go, starting the last book of the book of Psalms.
Okay.
With Psalm 107. There's no supra text, but I'm sure it's of David. And it's a psalm.
If we had to guess.
It's a psalm.
It is a psalm.
Okay?
Yeah.
Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good.
Again, no.
No, he's a dick. His love endures forever. Let the redeemed of the Lord say this. Those he redeemed from the hands of the foe, those he gathered from the lands, from east and west, from north and south. Some wandered in desert wastelands, finding no way to a city where they could settle. They were hungry and thirsty, and their lives ebbed away.
This is Moses they're referring to, I'm assuming.
Sure. I have no idea.
Right, whatever.
Then they cried out to the Lord in their trouble right here in River City. And he delivered them from their distress. Yeah, he did. He led them by a straight way to a city where they could settle.
Okay.
Was it straight? Was it a city?
Well, I mean,
not if it was Moses.
But we're talking about once God decided to finally get them there.
Right. But again, I don't know about all that.
Right.
Let them give thanks to the Lord for his unfailing love and his wonderful deeds for men, for he satisfies the thirsty and fills the hungry with good things.
But not for women.
Not for women. And
Just
also, when they complain about being hungry, he barrages them with too many pheasants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some sat in darkness and the deepest gloom, prisoners suffering in iron chains, for they had rebelled against the words of God and despised the counsel of the Most High. Because that's what you do to the people you love.
Right. You put them in a deep, dark dungeon and lock them away.
And chain them up.
Yeah.
And kill them.
Right.
Kill them and dance in their blood.
Good stuff
and
right there.
Yeah. So he subjected them to bitter labor. They stumbled and there was no one to help. Then they cried out to the Lord in their trouble, and he saved them from their distress. You know, the distress that he
caused.
Put them in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
He brought them out of darkness and the deepest gloom and broke away their chains. The chains that he had put them in.
Right.
I'm not understanding this.
Well, I mean, he has to make sure that you worship him by punishing you and torturing you and maybe almost killing you and sometimes killing you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you wouldn't know to worship God unless he was an asshole at you.
Right.
That's the only way you can know God.
So it's kind of like if I walk up to somebody and I push them down into the street and they get hit by a car, and then I'm like, but then I put them in my car and I rush them to the hospital.
Right.
And
they should worship you at that point.
Yeah, and then
Definitely.
they should tell me thank you.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, yeah, didn't you feel me kick you to make you get run over by that car?
I had to punish you. I had to hurt you so that you would appreciate me.
Yeah. Good stuff. Let them give thanks to the Lord for his unfailing love, because I always shove the people I love in front of a car.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And his wonderful deeds for men, for he breaks down gates of bronze and cuts through bars of iron.
Wait, what? Cuts through bars of iron.
I call bullshit.
He doesn't like iron.
He don't like that
hates iron.
Because he's
from
a
what
fairy
I heard.
tale.
Right.
Because fairy tale creatures hate
so
iron.
I don't think this is true.
This isn't true.
I mean, that right there, that proves this whole fucking thing wrong. We can just stop.
It was all fine and it was all believable right up until that point.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Some became fools through their rebellious ways and suffered affliction because of their iniquities.
You're a fool, darling.
You're a fool, darling.
Thank you.
I love you. They loathed all food and drew near the gates of death. Then they cried to the Lord in their trouble, and he saved them from their distress. You know, the distress that he caused.
Right, always.
Yeah. He sent forth his word and healed them. He rescued them from the grave. Again, it's kind of like if I stab you, but then I donate my kidney to you.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't be mad that I stabbed you and caused you to need a kidney in the first place.
I'll still be mad.
You might be mad?
I will definitely be mad if you stab me.
Even though I gave you my kidney? Worship me.
No.
Tell me thank you.
No.
Tell me I'm the best.
No.
Fine, then I'm going to stab you. See? You deserved it. Let them give thanks to the Lord for his unfailing love and his wonderful deeds for men. Let them sacrifice thank offerings and tell of his works with songs of joy.
Kill things to praise me.
Yes, kill things to praise me. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I want that on a t-shirt. Kill things to praise me.
Yeah, yeah.
Others went out on the sea in ships. They were merchants on the mighty waters. Then they saw the works of the Lord, his wonderful deeds in the deep. I bet they're talking about Leviathan.
You think?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because, you know, he made Leviathan.
Right.
For he spoke and stirred up a tempest that lifted the high waves. They mounted up to the heavens and went down to the depths. In their peril, their courage melted away.
It sounds like a tsunami.
Yeah, because that's what a tempest is.
Yeah.
A storm.
Right.
Yeah. They reeled and staggered like drunken men. What would you do with a drunken sailor? What would you do with a drunken sailor? They were at their wits' end. Then they cried out to the Lord in their trouble, and he brought them out of their distress. The distress, again, that he caused.
Right, yeah.
He stilled the storm to a whisper.
Ah.
Hush.
Yeah.
The waves of the sea were hushed. Oh, that's funny. I hadn't read ahead. Weird. They were glad when it grew calm, and he guided them to their desired haven. Let them give thanks to the Lord for his unfailing love and his wonderful deeds for men. Let them exalt him in the assembly of the people and praise him in the council of the elders. What now?
Did he guide them, or did the navigator guide them? Like, I'm betting that it was the navigator, because unless he, like, turned the boat himself, he's not really guiding them.
Right.
He just, at best, if we're assuming God, right, in this book, at best he stopped the fucking storm.
Well, maybe he said, follow me in my pillar of smoke.
I guess you could say he put the stars there in order to guide people.
Of course.
So I guess
he
technically...
He might have talked to their hearts and been like, turn left. See, that's what Google does.
Okay,
so
yeah.
say Google
it's like an internal Google Maps.
Yeah.
God's like internal Google Maps.
God is like a GPS.
That must be what it's like. You think it tells you when there's a cop ahead?
I bet not, though.
No?
No.
Okay.
No. That's a shitty GPS.
Right?
There.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Not that I speed.
No, never. Yeah.
Dangerous.
Right.
He turned rivers into a desert. I did speed. I got a speeding ticket, remember?
I know, right? Yes.
It was like within the first week that we moved to this house.
I was so angry.
You were very angry.
Because
you had warned me.
I had warned you.
But the thing is I just still didn't know.
You didn't listen.
I listened, and look, okay, to be fair, when I say I was speeding, I was going 45 in what I thought was a 35, but it wasn't a 35. It was a 25.
No, it's a 35.
Oh, but it was marked down to a 20 because it was school. And I didn't
Right.
know that it was school. So I was going 45 in a school zone.
Wow.
But I didn't
That's shitty.
know. I didn't know.
You didn't know it was a school zone?
I didn't pay attention. I just, I was bad.
I don't know about all this.
I was bad. I was wrong. I should have listened to you. I should have been more observant.
How many tickets have I gotten since I moved here?
None.
Actually, in the last 10 years.
Well, technically, that ticket was your ticket because the car was in your name.
I know.
And it was an auto. So
yeah.
It was an auto snap thing.
Yeah.
So technically, one.
Okay.
What? He turned rivers into a desert, flowing springs into thirsty ground, and fruitful land into a salt waste because of the wickedness of those who live there. Because starving people to death is what you do to your enemies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
you kill them hard.
Humane,
He turned the desert into the pools of water and parched ground into flowing springs. There he brought the hungry to live, and he founded a city where they could settle. They sowed fields and planted vineyards that yielded a fruitful harvest. He blessed them, and their numbers greatly increased, and he did not let their herds diminish. Okay, I have to say something.
Okay.
I absolutely despise that the word vineyard is pronounced vineyard because there's an E and the word is vine. And why is it not vineyard?
Because it's vineyard, obviously.
I know that, but it should be vineyard.
I mean, yeah. You're
Not
right. You're
vineyard.
right, obviously.
So it makes me angry that we've collectively...
We should just collectively change it and just start saying vineyard.
Vineyard.
Just to piss everybody off.
It's a yard of fucking grapevines.
It's a fucking vineyard over there.
It's a yard of vines.
Yeah.
I'm going to say yard of vines instead of vineyard.
There you go.
That way
See?
Nobody can be like, oh, she doesn't know that it's pronounced vineyard. Instead of looking stupid, I'm just going to say, oh, look, it's a yard of vines.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
That's what I'm going to say.
Okay.
Then their numbers decreased, and they were humbled by oppression, calamity, and sorrow. Womp womp. He who pours contempt. Oh, wouldn't it be funny if there was a Bible that actually had the words womp womp?
It would. It would.
That would be hilarious.
I keep telling you we need to do a Sacrilegious Discourse Bible.
I'm going to. And
you keep saying that.
It's going to have the words womp womp in it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He who pours contempt on nobles made them wander in a trackless waste, but he lifted the needy out of their affliction and increased their families like flocks. The upright see and rejoice, but all the wicked shut their mouths. Shut your mouth.
Yeah. Okay.
Whoever is wise, let him heed these things and consider the great love of the Lord.
All I see is things were good and God was good. Things got bad and God was mad.
That's a rhyme.
Yeah, it was. It was. Because, I mean, like, it's just always, if things are bad, God's mad at you.
Yeah.
If things are good, God likes you.
Yeah.
That's the whole concept of the Bible.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And
it's just silly.
It's childish.
Yeah.
It's so like early man.
Right.
You know?
Well, I mean, yeah.
We build skyscrapers. We passed the moon and got to Mars now. Like, come on, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Keep up.
Yeah.
Science, bro.
Right.
Okay, so Psalm 107 is the Lord delivers from trouble. Trouble. And it starts, oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good. Okay, I've got a little bit of lengthy notes here because there's some about the directionals that he gives in here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Psalm 107 is a song of thanksgiving to God who has been merciful to his people and gathered all who were lost, with his GPS.
Yeah.
Okay? So it is is beloved of mariners due to its reference to ships and the sea.
Right, because he guides them back to port.
It said the word water in it. We love it. It's kind of like my mom. There's a cross on it. I love it. Even if it's like from the dollar store and painted like cheap and shit.
Yeah.
And it looks like trash or like a third grader made it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can love God and you can love things that have God in it. And you can even love the cross if you really have to, even though like it's kind of grotesque.
Right.
Whatever. You can like your little idols if you want, but could we not admit that one looks like it was, painted by a kindergartner? Come on now.
Right. It would
have some taste.
The cross would be like if somebody died, if Jesus died today, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we all started worshiping, but that he got killed in an electric chair. It'd be like wearing a necklace with an electric chair on it.
Or a mass shooting and everybody started wearing necklaces with guns on. Oh, wait.
Right.
We kind of do that, don't we?
Yeah.
So you may have noticed Psalm 107 is one of the longer Psalms in the Bible. Not the longest, but it was a bit lengthy.
Right.
The theme of the Psalm moves forward from section to section. And in the Masoretic Hebrew text, there are 7 inverted nuns. I don't know what that means, but I had to put it in my notes because inverted nuns.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means.
Okay. You didn't look it up? Didn't
There wasn't notes on it, and like I did a quick Google and like nothing came up immediately, so I was like, okay, we're gonna get back to that then. So
are we gonna get back to it though?
Yeah, I put it in my notes as I need to find out about inverted nuns.
Okay.
They're satanic nuns from Good Omens.
Okay.
Oh,
the what was it? The order of
the Chattering Order.
The Chattering Order of Nuns.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. Good call, kid.
You're welcome.
The Psalms date from anywhere between the 5th and 13th century BC and 400 BC.
Oh, okay.
That's a big window. They could have just said, we have no fucking idea when it was written.
Right.
Although the exact timing of the writing of Psalm 107 is uncertain, it was most likely written during a time of increased union among the Jewish people during the reign of King David, which was 1010 to 970 BC.
Okay.
Okay, so we have an idea of when it's supposed to be about.
Right.
Have you found anything about inverted nuns?
I did, actually.
Oh,
It is a rare glyph used in classical Hebrew. Its function in the ancient text is disputed. It takes the form of the letter nun in mirror image and appears in the Masoretic text of the Tanakh in 9 different places.
So you don't know what it means either?
I don't know what it means either, but it's a rare glyph used a certain amount of times.
Is like a stele?
It's like a letter.
It's a letter.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not a hieroglyph. It's a glyph without the hieros.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it means, but
it's rare.
It's rare.
And it exists.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
So there's 7 inverted ones of those.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Because it's the amount of I don't know. There's some other stuff here too, but it's too much to read real quickly. So
yeah. So that's why I said we'll have to come back to that.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So inverted nuns. Got it.
Yeah.
Check.
Sorry, it was bugging me.
I know. I could tell because you weren't listening.
I was listening.
Not hard.
Not real hard.
Okay.
But I was listening.
Okay, so we're going to get back to my notes now.
Okay.
The rest of them that aren't inverted nuns.
Not the inverted nuns, right.
Okay. In the psalmist's assessment, acts of infidelity often seem to correspond to an eventual awe-inspiring work of mercy from the Lord.
Okay.
So you do something that's bad, but then something good happens and you're like, JK, I love God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. The psalm also includes several more specific themes which emphasize the general tone of praise and thanksgiving for the God of Israel. Yay, God!
Yay.
I mean, that's a lot of these.
Right.
Okay, so in the introduction, the Lord is said to, quote, gather the redeemed from the east and from the west and from the north and from the south. Did you remember all that?
Yeah.
Okay, so following this, the next 4 sections address individuals who wandered in desert wastes, sat in darkness and gloom, were sick through their sinful ways, and who went down to the sea in ships. Okay?
Okay.
So those are each 4 different things.
Yeah.
Okay? Each of these locational descriptors corresponds to a cardinal direction.
Okay.
So the desert wastes mentioned in the second section of the psalm indicate a great eastern desert that might be beat down upon by the sun, which rises in the east.
Okay.
So that's the east. Likewise, in the opposing western section where the sun sets, the Israelites are said to sit in darkness and gloom.
Got it.
Okay? The correlation depicted in this section between darkness and helplessness, apart from the aid of the Lord, harkens back to Old Testament descriptions of Abraham.
Okay.
I didn't catch any of that, but they
Right.
mention it particularly in Genesis 15.
Got it.
Okay?
Okay.
And I'm like, if you say so.
Sure.
Throughout early Hebrew history, north was thought to be the direction most associated with evil and iniquity, like here there be dragons kind of thing.
Yeah.
Thus adding emphasis to the direction of north's correspondence to the 4th stanza, beginning with, some were sick through their sinful ways, and because of their iniquities suffered affliction. So that's the north.
Okay.
Okay. And finally, in the orientation of the region that Israel occupied at the time of Psalm 107, to the south lay the sea, directly paralleling the beginning of the 5th section. Some went down to the sea in ships.
Right.
So
okay.
each of those things was one of the directions.
Got it.
So he started out saying the directions and then described them, which we were supposed to take as being those directions, but we don't know those things.
Sure.
So
yeah.
we're like, oh, okay, sure.
Right.
So Psalm 107 is above all a hymn commemorating the power of God.
Mm-hmm.
He's so powery.
Mm-hmm.
Despite the transgressions of the Israelites, the Lord forgives them. He's so sweet. He's a nice guy. They should make Hallmark cards about that guy.
They do, sadly.
Oh,
yeah.
The works of the Lord, however, are mentioned in many psalms. So what makes 107 so different from them, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so it's somewhat unusual in its depiction of the works of the Lord as explication for the people. The psalm is a hymn of thanksgiving to the Lord for the purpose of making the Lord's works known to humankind so that they too can join in the praise of the Lord.
Okay.
It's circular.
Yeah, right.
This concept seems to indicate that David has written a sort of circulatory hymn thanking the Lord for enabling the Israelites to thank the Lord. Thank you for letting me thank you. Right? That's
oh my gosh.
different from the thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true, you're a pal and confidant. Okay, do you remember at this time what it is? Last time I sang it, you didn't remember.
That's Golden Girls, yeah.
That is Golden Girls, yeah. And that is exactly not the kind of friend that God is.
Right.
He's like, I will allow you to thank me. And the people are like, oh my God, thank you for letting us thank you. That's awesome. And thank you for letting me say that. And thank you for letting me say that. And that. And that is so many things.
Right.
These concordant themes of enlightenment and gratitude reinforce each other throughout this and the rest of the 5th book of Psalms. So we've got more of that coming.
Yeah.
Psalm 107 is often quoted at events involving the Navy and seafarers, such as at the launching of ships.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. I'll let you have that.
Right.
All right, so now we're going to do Psalm 108, which is not too long. It's kind of short.
Right.
So, yay! This is a song, and it's a psalm of David. Okay. So this psalm of David is a song.
Got it.
Okay.
Yep.
Just making sure you got it. It's not that I just wanted to say psalm.
No, that's not it at all. No.
Right. My heart is steadfast, O God. I will sing and make music with all my soul. La la la. Awake, harp and lyre, Liar, not Lear, liar.
Okay.
I will awaken the dawn. I will praise you, O Lord, among the nations. I will sing of you among the peoples. La, la, la. For great is your love, higher than the heavens. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Don't some groups of Christianity not like music?
Yeah.
So, like, there's so
And they
much
don't
in
like
here about,
dancing
there's
and
so much in
stuff.
the Bible about singing and
Mhm.
dancing even.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck?
Because
Why?
Because joy is sinful. You're only
I
supposed to
guess.
be dour sons of bitches.
Right.
Okay. Your faithfulness reaches to the skies. Be exalted, O God, above the heavens, and let your glory be over the earth. Oh, baby, baby. Save us and help us with your right hand. Those you love may be delivered. God has spoken from his sanctuary. Bum, bum, bum. In triumph I will parcel out Shechem and measure off the valley of Succoth. Gilead is mine. Manasseh is mine. Ephraim is my helmet. Judah is my scepter. Moab is my wash basin.
I would not want to be God's wash basin.
That's where I dip my balls. Upon Edom I toss my sandal. Over Philistia I shout in triumph. Yeah, baby.
Could you keep it down? We're trying to sleep, dude.
Yeah, stop singing and tossing sandals and whatnot. Who will bring me to the fortified city? Who will lead me to Edom? Is it not you, O God? You who have rejected us and no longer go out with our armies? Give us aid against the enemy, for the help of man is worthless. With God we will gain the victory and he will trample down our enemies. Woo!
Yeah, we don't need people. Shit.
Yeah.
We just need God.
And guns. God and guns.
Well, yeah. Back then it wasn't guns, but...
Sure, but it would have been had they had them.
Well, yeah.
Mhm.
For sure.
So Psalm 108 is a prayer for help against the foe, and it's also referred to as the warrior's morning song.
Okay.
Like sun rises in the morning.
Yeah,
Not like
right.
I killed you with my guns and now I'm in morning.
Do you know how I know where the sun comes up?
How?
The Muppets.
Mine is because of the song from Beauty and the Beast.
Right.
That's so funny that we both remember the sun rises in the east because of some kind of kids show.
There's a part in one of the Muppets songs that says, "I've never seen the sun come up in the west."
Oh,
I can
see?
see, and that's how I always remembered
Well, see,
that the sun comes up in the east.
Mine is from that song where Angela Lansbury is the teapot singing about a tale as old as time and as surely as the sun rises in the east.
Right.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
We can only remember it because of kids' things. Interesting. Thank you, Disney. Thank you, Jim Henson. Okay, so this one starts, "Oh, give thanks unto the Lord." And Psalm 108 contains numerous verses.
Verses.
It contains numerous verses which appear in other psalms, and because of this, is considered by some to be the borrower.
So it was
a mishmash,
copied.
paddywhack, give a
Yeah.
God a bone.
Somebody was like, "I need a psalm." And they're like, "Oh, let's just get some
Take
salvation
a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Some rock and whatever. Just pull some little bit there. There, we got it. We got it. Yeah, we got it.
You left out the word refuge,
Fortress.
refuge. God
Refuge,
damn
yeah.
it. Well, we're stuck for it
Salvation.
now. He already started carving in the rock. The Midrash teaches that verse 2 refers to David's practice of arising each night before dawn and praising God with psalms and harp, thus, quote, awakening the dawn. Remember I said the harp and I called it a lyre?
Yeah.
Or I forget what I called it, but it's a lyre.
Right.
Yeah. So he plays those and awakens the dawn, and that's what that verse refers to.
I see.
Okay? All right. Now we're getting to the good stuff. Ready?
I'm ready.
Psalm 109.
Yeah.
When I read my notes on this, I was like, I cannot wait to read this and see what it says. Okay. Psalm 109.
Okay.
For the director of music of David. A psalm.
Yes.
Okay. O God, whom I praise, do not remain silent, for wicked and deceitful men have opened their mouths against me. They have spoken against me with lying tongues.
Nah, those assholes.
I hate them.
Yeah.
With words of hatred, they surround me. They attack me without cause. In return for my friendship, they accuse me, those fuckers. But I am a man of prayer. They repay me evil for good and hatred for my friendship.
So why would you be friends with somebody who hates you?
I don't know.
That doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
I think he's just really paranoid. I really do.
We've talked about.
I
this
know,
before.
but like just it's a lot of like it's a lot of the Psalms.
Mm-hmm. They're gonna get me.
Right. It's all through here. I'm like, dude, not everybody's out to get you, man. It
defines the Christian way and the right wing.
It's true. Like, yeah, Christians really do feel like everybody's out to get them.
They're gonna get me.
Yeah.
Appoint an evil man to oppose him. Let an accuser stand at his right hand. When he is tried, let him be found guilty, and may his prayers condemn him. May his days be few. May another take his place of leadership. So he is like cursing this dude to death.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
May his children be fatherless and his wife a widow.
This is some shitty stuff to ask. Like, that's not nice.
This is not nice. May his children be wandering beggars. May they be driven from their ruined homes. May a creditor seize all he has.
Who wishes ruin on children? Like, that's a horrible thing.
Christians.
Yeah.
May strangers plunder the fruits of his labor. May no one extend kindness to him.
Jesus.
Or take pity on his fatherless children.
My God.
May his descendants be cut off, their names blotted out from the next generation. May the iniquity of his fathers be remembered before the Lord. May the sin of his mother never be blotted out. May their sins always remain before the Lord. May he cut off the memory of them from the earth.
Jesus.
For he never thought of doing a kindness, but hounded to death the poor and the needy and the brokenhearted. So, we hate that guy so hard. We want to just follow him around, throwing rocks at him and showing him how much we hate him.
Right.
Because that's a good thing to do. Yeah, it's in the Bible.
Yeah.
He loved to pronounce a curse. May it come on him. He found no pleasure in blessing. May it be far from him. He wore cursing as his garment. It entered into his body like water, into his bones like oil. May it be a cloak wrapped about him like a bolt, like a belt tied forever around him.
I gotta say, it's not that I'm not. Maybe this guy was a bad guy. Maybe he sucked, right?
Yeah.
But this entire thing that David question mark wrote, it doesn't make me think very highly of him.
Right.
He sounds like a fucking dick here.
Yeah.
And he's asking for this guy's complete and utter ruin.
And that of his children and his wife and his mother and everybody around him.
This is really shitty.
It's very shitty. Yeah. May this be the Lord's payment to my accusers, to those who speak evil of me. But you, O sovereign Lord, deal well with me for your name's sake. Out of the goodness of your love, deliver me, for I am poor and needy, and my heart is wounded within me. I fade away like an evening shadow. I am shaken off like a locust. My knees give way from fasting. My body is thin and gaunt. I am an object of scorn to my accusers. When they see me, they shake their heads. Help me, my Lord, my God. Save me in accordance with your love. Let them know that it is in your hand, that you, O Lord, have done it. They may curse, but you will bless. When they attack, they will be put to shame, but your servant will rejoice. My accusers will be clothed with disgrace and wrapped in shame as a cloak. With my mouth I will greatly extol the Lord. In the great throng I will praise him. For he stands at the right hand of the needy one to save his life from those who condemn him.
That's such bullshit.
Yeah. Isn't it, though?
I'm the only one that's worthy here. Kill all my foes.
Believe me. Don't believe anybody else. So this psalm is called A Cry for Vengeance, but it's also known as the Judas Psalm or the Iscariot Psalm, which Iscariot is Judas. Judas Iscariot was his name.
Okay.
Prayer for deliverance from enemies. Okay, so this is known as a lot. It starts Song of the Slandered. Psalm 109 is noted for containing some of the most severe curses in the Bible.
Huh.
Not just in the Psalms, but in the Bible.
I don't know. I thought okay. All right.
Like all together in one. Like that was a lot.
It was a long, it was a long list of
This wasn't spread out through different chapters. This was all one chapter.
Fair enough.
Okay. It is classified as one of the imprecatory psalms against deceitful foes.
Okay.
Okay, and we remember that an imprecatory psalm is where you're specifically asking the Lord to do a thing for you.
Yeah.
Okay. In verse 13, where it says, let his posterity be cut off, that should be translated as, may his sons die childless. Okay. And in the generation following, their name be blotted out means in the next generation, let their names be removed from the registry of the citizens, because the extinction of a family name was considered the most extreme calamity for the Israelites.
Wow.
Yeah. So give him the thing that we think is the worst thing ever.
Right.
Do that to him.
Right, right.
Okay, here's where we get really interesting.
Okay.
And I was just like, oh, damn. In the United States, verse 8, may his days be few, may another take his place of leadership. Remember that?
Yeah.
Has been used by a number of fundamentalist preachers, but this use has been condemned by others. But here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Okay. In 2009, the media reported more widely on its usage in reference to President Barack Obama. Yeah. In January of 2010, a Florida sheriff's deputy was suspended for highlighting the passage in another deputy's Bible and adding the note, the Obama prayer, beside it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. In January of 2012, Kansas Speaker of the House Michael O'Neill sent an email quoting verse 8 to his Republican colleagues that stated, at last, I can honestly voice a biblical prayer for our president. Look it up. It is word for word. Let us all bow our heads and pray. Brothers and sisters, can I get an amen? Amen.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
That's some shit.
Right?
Yeah.
On June 10th in 2016, Georgia Senator David Perdue quoted the verse referencing Obama at the Faith and Freedom Coalition's Road to Majority Conference.
Jesus.
But by late summer of 2017, bumper stickers could be seen asking people to pray for U.S. President Donald Trump with the same attribution.
Really?
Yeah. Now, I never saw one of those, but
I didn't either.
And I would think that here in Ohio, where we are in big Trump County country,
yeah,
that we wouldn't see that.
Right, right. That's true.
So I don't know how to feel about that. Like, it's nothing I would put on the back of my car for either direction.
Right, right.
But, like, damn.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. It's interesting. So, yeah. So.
Yeah. So that was my notes on those 3 Psalms.
All right. So that concludes, well, that doesn't conclude shit. It concludes today, where we covered Psalms 107, 108, and 109.
Correcty doodle.
And tomorrow we'll be back, hypothetically, with
110, 111, and 112, because I can count.
Awesome. We will see you guys then.
Yep. Bye. Husband!
Wife!
Do you not remember where we are? Because we're in Psalms.
I mean, yeah, basically.
Exactly.
So I think we did like 10 something yesterday. 107 through 109.
7, 8, and 9. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And
today
there
we're
was
doing
God shit in there.
Yeah.
And things.
God happened.
And Psalms.
He was kind of a dick, I guess, or whatever.
I mean, that's generally, like, we're pretty safe in saying that.
Yeah.
Generally, anytime.
Yeah. I don't remember, but I'm sure that guy was a dick.
He was definitely a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if he wasn't, yeah, he was.
There was that one that the guy rambled on about, like, all the bad things.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, how much he wanted to, like,
curse
kill people and
you
shit.
Be gone and,
right.
and give them death and erase his children from history.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Punish them, too, while you're at it.
I think it's like, I think my mind just erases the bad. That's why I can never remember anything.
My mind only remembers the bad. Like, I retain no good.
Well, to be fair, the only good that we read is about them praising God. And I'm like, but that's not even real, so I don't care.
Yeah, because you're not supposed to love them. You're supposed to fear them.
Right. Oh, side note.
Side note.
We are done with our campaign for our live
fundraiser.
Live event where we were raising funny money for our live equipment our equipment that we need for our live event. Holy fuck!
You said that yesterday, live equipment.
Yeah, I apparently can't word there.
No, you cannot.
So
let me rephrase that for you. the campaign that we were running as a fundraiser for funds for equipment for our live event has ended.
Yes.
Thank you to all contributors.
Yes, definitely. We raised a total of $420.
Which we so appreciate.
We definitely do. Yeah, it's going to help out tremendously towards what we need. And we just can't thank you guys enough. And you did, and yeah.
You did money at us.
You did money at us, and that was cool.
And we so appreciate it.
We do.
And if you are in Dayton, Ohio on the 27th,
come see us. We'll be at Bricks. It's a bar in
It's
Dayton.
a brick bar.
But reach out to us first if you plan on coming, because they do want you to RSVP.
Because it's tight quarters.
There's limited spacing for the event. So, but yeah, just reach out to us and let us know, and we'll give you the directions on how to RSVP if you do want to come out.
Yep.
And that's that.
Kid will be there.
Yeah.
So
as well as us,
As well as we and
the
kid will be
husband
there.
and the wife
and the kid.
That's
the important part, honestly.
Right.
Nobody gives a shit about us.
So anyway.
Yes.
What are we covering today?
110, 11, and 12 of the Psalms in the last book of the Book of Psalms.
Sounds great. Let's go do this.
Okie dokie. All right, here we are jumping into Psalm 110.
Sounds wonderful.
And guess what?
What?
It's a psalm.
Is it? No shit.
Of David.
Of David. My God.
It says of David.
It's been so long since I've heard from that guy.
It's
amazing. I know.
No, he's in everything. He's everywhere.
Yeah.
Yep. The Lord says to my Lord.
It's David's all the way down.
That was decent. Okay, so the Lord says to my Lord.
Yeah.
Sit at my right hand until I make your enemies a footstool for your feet. Boom.
His left hand is just like, it's like Jello, because he never uses the fucking thing. It's always his right hand. His left hand, it just doesn't work quite right, apparently.
You don't know.
He never uses his left hand. It's always his right hand.
You don't know.
I think there's something wrong with God's left hand. That's what I think.
There's a lot wrong with God, and his left hand is the least of it.
This is just a working theory I've got going.
The Lord will extend your mighty scepter from Zion. You will rule in the midst of your enemies. Your troops will be willing on your day of battle, arrayed in holy majesty from the womb of the dawn. You will receive the dew of your youth. And that dew is like the dew on grass, not the doo-doo. And
I got it.
Not the dew run,
right.
the dew run. The Lord has sworn and will not change his mind. You're a priest forever in the order of Melchizedek. Okay?
Yeah.
Good. The Lord is at your right hand. He will crush kings on the day of his wrath. He will judge the nations, heaping up the dead and crushing the rulers of the whole earth.
Heaping up the dead, huh?
Heaping up the dead.
That is in the Bible. Heaping up the dead is in the Bible.
That's the name of my next band. If I don't write a book called Heaping Up the Dead, then I am a trash human.
Like, not just succeeding and like
doing well.
Right, and not
being
winning
nice.
not winning the day, but heaping up the dead.
Heaping up the dead.
That's something.
Heaping up the dead.
Yep.
That reminds me.
Does it?
Yeah.
That scares me a little.
The little boy that I was babysitting today, he's not dead. There's a slide in their backyard, a little plastic slide.
Yeah.
And there was a spider on it, and he was like, ooh, and he was like going to put his hand on it because he's 2 and 2 is stupid.
Right.
And I was like, oh God, no, run away.
That's teaching him good things.
It could bite him. It looks terrifying. And so then I was like, absolutely not, sir. And so we were like getting away from it. And then I was on the backside and I was like, oh, hell no. And I turned the slide over. The whole fucking bottom of the slide was covered, heaping up the dead, full of spiders. Yeah.
Wow.
It was a spider monopoly.
I see.
It was a spider nest. They were raving. They were dancing. They were partying.
Yeah. It was like a Spider-Verse?
Yeah. And you know what he did? He was like trying to reach his hand out to play with the spiders.
Oh, yeah. They
No,
look friendly.
I was like, absolutely not. This is foolishness. And I kicked the slide.
They've got like 8 legs. They could do all kinds of stuff.
Shut your mouth. I kicked the slide over to the gate and was like, come on, we're playing over here. And we went to the way opposite side of the yard.
The way
fuck
opposite
that.
side.
The way opposite side.
Got it.
Fuck that slide and fuck those spiders.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Heaping up the dead.
Heaping up the dead.
That's what those spiders were trying to do to us. But rather, I did it to them because I tattled and I told the dad, y'all got spiders. And he was like, nothing wrong. He was going to rinse them off.
Rinse them off?
Mm-hmm. He's going to drown them.
Okay.
He's going to tsunami their rave.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was going to heap up the dead.
Got it.
Yep.
Got it.
Okay. So you see how I brought that around, yeah?
Yeah, I see.
I think I did a good job heaping up the dead.
Mm-hmm.
Crushing the rulers of the whole earth. He will drink from a brook beside the way. Therefore, he will lift up his head. Okay, so that was 110.
Yeah. That was the wording was a little odd in that one, comparatively speaking to other Psalms, I should say. So.
Yes. Okay, so this was the Lord gives dominion to the king.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And starts, the Lord said unto my Lord. Remember?
The Lord said unto my Lord.
Yeah, that's how it started.
Okay.
That I literally looked at you when I said it,
so
wondering if you were going to...
The Lord said unto my Lord, being the king.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Yes,
okay.
I'm going to there's notes on that.
Right.
But I was wondering if you would pick up on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did, just then.
Mm-hmm.
I got it.
It is considered both a royal psalm and a messianic psalm, because you know Messiah stuff.
Right.
And may be associated with a king's coronation. This psalm is cited as proof of the plurality of the Godhead and Jesus' supremacy as king, priest, and Messiah.
It's interesting that that's what it is when it was written before Jesus.
It is cited as proof. It is not actual proof.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's not a lot of actual proof in this book.
But they're like, see what it says in the Old Testament?
Yeah.
That shit's going to come true.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm like, that's not how that works. But okay.
Yeah.
You can think that.
I could write a book and I could put all kinds of stuff in it. And I could say, it says right here.
No, you gotta write a thing in chapter 3, and then you gotta go in chapter 11 and be like, see?
I am awesome because it says right here that in chapter 3 it said I was awesome and also I'm still awesome.
Yeah.
So
proof.
Obviously that's proof.
Boom. I cited it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for this reason, Psalm 110 is the most frequently quoted or referenced psalm in the New Testament.
Oh, wow.
How about that, huh?
Yeah.
Classical Jewish sources, in contrast, state that the subject of this psalm is either Abraham, David, or the Jewish Messiah yet to come.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so we don't know who the fuck it's about.
Sure.
This psalm is usually dated in the pre-exilic period of Israel.
Okay.
Sometimes even completely in the oldest monarchy.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it old.
Okay.
So
like I don't understand, like these are, that one said it was by David or for David or whatever of David, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these seem to be written at different times, even if they're of David.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just that David collected a bunch of these, or like I don't understand all the of David stuff? I guess
I'm gonna have to look into that more because I don't fully understand it either.
Got it.
Honestly. Like, I think if you ask Christians, like, they don't read into all the history and stuff. So I think they're like, yeah, David wrote them all, period.
Right.
Like, I know that that's what my parents believe.
Sure.
Like, and why wouldn't they? That's what my preacher person
I could
told
believe
me.
that David commissioned, like, a collection of things to be put into writing.
And attributed to him or whatever.
Yeah, sure. That could make some sense.
But that's not Christians, like, Bible-y ones, Bible thumpers, if you will, they say, no, David wrote all of them, period, the end.
Right.
He wrote them with his own little hand.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Okay. All right.
So, I mean, obviously that can't possibly be true.
I wouldn't think so, yeah.
Some of them are dated way after him, and some of them are dated way before him.
Right.
So,
right.
I don't fucking know. So, let's recall verse 1 for a moment.
Okay.
Where it says, the Lord says to my Lord, sit at my right hand until I make your enemies a footstool for your feet.
Right.
So since David wrote this psalm in the third person to be sung by the Levites in the temple of Jerusalem from a Jewish perspective, the Levites would be saying that the Lord spoke to my master, meaning that God spoke to David.
Right. Okay.
However, many Christian translations capitalize the second word Lord, implying that it refers to Jesus. Okay. Because they like to go from New Testament back into Old Testament and make everything Old Testament apply to New Testament.
But you can't make Jesus appear with David.
No. They're not saying that Jesus is there. They're saying that this alludes to a time when.
It's
and
like
that
prophetic.
Yes.
Whatever.
That is what the New Testament is like saying. All of this was prophecy. All of Old Testament is prophecy that is fulfilled in the New Testament.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So they go back and they fill in some blanks and say, see, there goes some Jesus-y stuff right there.
Got it.
Like, it's hindsight.
Yeah. Okay.
So as the Lord God is supposedly speaking to another Lord, capital L, it has been suggested that two distinct divine persons are involved, God and Jesus, such that David is acknowledging Christ's sovereignty and David's subservience to him. Okay. So nobody fucking knows who's talking to whom.
Yeah.
But God is a dick.
Sure.
Of that
we're 100% certain about that. Yeah.
Yes. The Talmud and the Midrash state that this psalm is about Abraham, who was victorious in battle to save his nephew Lot and merited priesthood.
Okay.
But in Christianity, the psalm is thought to be pure gospel and specifically refers to Jesus as the Messiah. Okay. This psalm is recited as a prayer of protection to achieve peace with enemies.
I see. By heaping up the dead, huh?
Yeah, I was going to say, and when you say peace, I hear kill the fuck out of them.
Right. Yeah.
So listen to this. Oliver Cromwell reportedly had his army sing this psalm before going out to battle against Scotland. It was his favorite fighting song, which led to Psalm 110 becoming known as the cursing psalm.
I see.
Yeah. Okay. Raw, raw, ree, kick him in the knee. Raw, raw, ras, kill him so fucking dead.
Right.
Yeah, that's how that goes.
Okay.
In 1959, Richard Rogers composed a partial setting of the psalm for the opening sequence of his musical, The Sound of Music.
Oh.
Yeah, that Rogers.
Okay.
Sorry.
That was a thing that fell.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we are going to jump into Psalm 111.
Okay. Yep.
Psalm 11, praise the Lord.
No.
That's how it starts.
Yeah.
Okay. I will extol the Lord with all my heart in the council of the upright and in the assembly. Both.
Okay. Yeah.
Great are the works of the Lord. They are pondered by all who delight in them. All who delight in them ponder it.
Okay. I mean, I can't speak to that because I don't delight in it.
I don't either. So, there is no delight here.
Right.
I just remember lots of dancing in the blood of your enemies and wishing death and mayhem upon their children and then heaping up the dead.
Yeah, I just can't get past those things sometimes.
Right.
It's
And let us never forget the dude that had to collect foreskins
that was David.
To buy stuff.
That was David.
Yeah. So
to buy a wife.
To buy a wife.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's just lots of, hop on pop incest and nasty rape stuff. Like, no, this book is gross.
Yeah.
Glorious and majestic are his deeds, and his righteousness endures forever. He has caused his wonders to be remembered. The Lord is gracious and compassionate. He provides food for those who fear him.
You know what I see that endures forever from God?
This stupid book.
Judgmental bullshit from his followers.
Yeah.
Like, just immense judgment of people's lifestyles and choices and what the fuck? Where do they get off doing that?
Because they can, and people who can be in power will do anything to maintain that power.
I grew up with the idea that God, Jesus, the Bible, Christianity, right? I grew up with the idea, not insofar as I knew about Christianity. I grew up with the idea that it wasn't for us to judge.
Right.
It wasn't for people
Like,
to judge. It's that is something God should do.
Like, I don't believe in that God, but the rules seem nice because they talk about being nice and forgiving and loving.
Right.
Like, okay. Like,
yeah, no,
that religion sounds nice. I don't believe in God, but that religion sounds nice.
If there really was no judgment involved
right.
by humans, living humans,
mm-hmm.
I think it would be a lot better
mm-hmm.
religion.
Mm-hmm.
Because ultimately every failing that they have involves judging other humans.
Right.
So I've never been able to wrap my head around that and understand why I don't know why my idea is this and then the reality is something else, I guess. I mean, maybe I'm probably wrong because I didn't go to church a lot, but what I was told, what I felt like I thought I knew
Same.
was that, people are not supposed to judge. That is left to God.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's what I was always told as a child. So
right.
That's what I grew up thinking as well.
But in practice, it's much different.
They're horrible people.
I don't want to say all Christians are horrible people. I mean, Jimmy Carter is one of my favorite human beings on the planet, and he is very much Christian.
Okay.
Okay. So, I mean,
I'm sure that there are many nice people on both sides. However, I'm very cynical and jaded because of all the anti-gay and anti-woman.
Yes.
And anti-life, even though they say they're pro-life.
No, definitely. If you can't get over these aspects that are more or less the norm for what people in this country want, then kind of fuck you.
And also, moreover, are none of your fucking business.
Right.
Like, let people love who they love, be who they are, and do with their bodies as they wish.
One of my favorite things that you always said to me early on when we got together was that why should anybody care what anybody's doing,
with my vagina?
Right. Yeah, with whatever. Why do we care about how people are having sex?
That's the thing I cannot fathom why somebody gives two shits about my pussy. I mean, honestly, that's what it comes down to. I cannot fathom that.
Right.
Why are you so interested in my crotch?
Right.
Like, seriously.
Yeah.
You are more interested in my crotch than I am. That's weird. You're weird. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Right. You're weird if you have ideas, thoughts, and problems with what I do with my crotch.
Yeah.
Like, go away.
Yeah.
All the way away. Like, to Mars away.
Right.
Where there's no air. Just go there. Go to the sun and burn up. Just be away from me. Because you don't need to worry about my fucking vagina. That's all.
But we don't want to, we're not for murdering people.
No, I'm just wishing you as far away from me as possible because you are weird if you're worried about my vagina. I'm just saying.
Yes, I totally agree.
Okay? And also, while we're on that subject, don't worry about my husband's penis either.
Yeah.
That's weird and gross. Stop it.
Right.
Just stop worrying about genitals. Like, the more that Christians bang on and on and on about people's genitals, the more I'm like, you are fucking gross and weird.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not the weirdo. Okay? They are.
Yeah.
Are you ready for me to stop now?
You're going on
I am.
bit.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was repeating myself. Because it's a sticking point. Like, I literally can't get over that.
Yeah.
It's just so weird. Okay.
Is it weird?
It's weird.
It's weird.
Fucking weird.
Yeah.
Okay, he provides food for those who fear him.
Yeah, I mean,
he
sometimes
throws birds at them.
Yeah. Right.
He remembers his covenant forever, except for when he doesn't.
Yeah, like when he kills all of humanity.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. He has shown his people the power of his works, giving them the lands of other nations.
Although I guess his covenant technically was after he killed all of humanity.
Hold on.
Yeah, sorry. I got stuck on that.
He's shown the people the power of his works, giving them the lands of other nations.
Yeah.
Hereby saying these lands belong to other people. I fucking stole them and gave them to you.
I thought that we thought that was shit back in Exodus. We're
I
like,
know,
what
but now
the fuck? There's other people that live there.
Right, but it was never spelled out so clearly as right there.
Right.
This land belongs to other nations, and I said, fuck those guys, and I gave it to you.
I mean, that's essentially what happened, yeah.
That's gross and stupid.
But minus the God actually doing that. It was
right.
It was actually just people killing people.
Right. In the name of their scary little idol.
And then never actually taking it fully over because
they said they did and then they didn't.
Right, but I mean, whatever.
Another weird little tidbit.
There's so many things.
And they're fucking giants? What? Get the fuck out of here.
Talking donkeys.
Yeah. The works of his hands are faithful and just. All his precepts are trustworthy. False. They are steadfast forever and ever, done in faithfulness and uprightness. He provided redemption for his people. He ordained his covenant forever. Holy and awesome is his name. I mean, short and silly, I think, but okay.
Yeah, how do you not have any, vowels?
Yahweh.
That's dumb.
And Elohim and Adonai and what are the other ones? Like all those God names. I'm like, you got a lot of names.
Right.
And then there's the secret, powerful, mystical, magical spell ones. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
Your name is not holy and awesome. Your name is silly.
Right.
Okay. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. All who follow his precepts have good understanding. I can tell you that is false right there.
Right.
Just because you follow God does not mean that you have good understanding.
Definitely not.
To him belongs eternal praise. Eternal something. Okay, so 111. Psalm 111 is the Lord's care for his people.
Okay.
It starts, praise ye the Lord, I will praise the Lord with my whole heart. Not a quarter of it, not a third of it.
Thing.
The whole thing.
Yep.
All or nothing.
Right.
This is a psalm in praise of the divine attributes.
Okay.
This psalm, along with Psalm 112, the next one, is an acrostic by phrase.
That's the using the alphabet thing?
Not necessarily. It's using a letter at the beginning of each one to spell out a word or phrase or something.
The alphabet.
Yeah, the alphabet usually down the side.
Right.
Which this one, each phrase begins with a letter of the Hebrew alphabet in order. So
got it. It seems like every time we've heard acrostic so far in
the Hebrews
Psalms,
were
it was the alphabet.
Yeah, because they were very into that. Like, it was very important to them.
Right.
So that's what they did.
Got it.
So, okay, now we're moving on to Psalm 112. I mean, we are just zooming through these. Okay. Praise the Lord.
No.
Blessed is the man who fears the Lord, who finds great delight in his commands. I love killing people. That's awesome. His children will be mighty in the land. The generation of the upright will be blessed. Wealth and riches are in his house. We don't get to see him because they're in his house.
Yeah.
And his righteousness endures forever, unfortunately. Even in the darkness, light dawns for the upright, for the gracious and compassionate and righteous man.
Especially if you're Joshua when the sun stayed up for 3 days.
Yeah, that was
so
badass.
Like, even though it was supposed to be dark, it was still light out.
It was.
Because they were probably upright, or something.
Yep. Good will come to him who is generous and lends freely, who conducts his affairs with justice. Oh, you're supposed to lend freely, huh?
Yeah, well,
interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, early on in, I think it was Leviticus.
Yes, they did.
It said that you shouldn't charge interest and stuff.
Yeah.
So
they were really, really cool about like helping the poor and.
Right. Yeah, they were much more giving back then. I
saw something, and this was just like some dumb BuzzFeed kind of article. I don't know that it was BuzzFeed. It was just something like that.
Right.
Where there was like this meme on the front page, and it said something like, we should plant orange trees and other fruit-bearing bushes and stuff along all of the streets and sidewalks so that the poor can just walk along and pick fruit and, never be hungry. And I was like, yeah, like you mean in the Bible in early days when
when they said, leave the
when they said that when you go and you gather up all of sow your fields and all that shit, and you gather all your grown stuff, like leave stuff along the edges so that the poor can come gather it too and not feel like they're being beggars.
Right.
You mean like that?
Yeah.
You mean like from the Bible actually taught?
I remember when I was younger, we had a pear tree in our front yard.
Aw,
And it was really cool. Like,
that's neat.
me and like neighbors, we'd just, pick a pear off the tree and eat it.
That's
It was great.
cool. You and I had a what was that bush we had in our backyard?
Mulberry
bush. It was so good.
Yeah.
We did not go round and round. I did not go round and round it. I stood in one spot and I went from top to bottom and I ate as many as I could stuff. I would stand out there for an hour going boink, 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 and I would just stuff them into my mouth.
Yep.
It was the best.
That's true.
Like, we would park right by the mulberry bush and you would get out of the car and I would be like, I'll be in a bit. And you'd be like, whatever.
Yeah.
Because you thought it was so weird, but I'd never had something like that before where you're just growing food and it's just right there in your yard and you just stand there and eat it.
Right.
And so that's what I did. I stood there and ate it.
You sure did.
It was so good.
Yeah.
I've never had that before.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry. Generous, lends freely, conducts his affairs with justice. Surely he will never be shaken, but he might be stirred. But a righteous man will be remembered forever. He will have no fear of bad news. His heart is steadfast, trusting in the Lord. His heart is secure. He will have no fear. In the end, he will look triumph on his foes. He has scattered abroad his gifts to the poor. His righteousness endures forever. His horn will be lifted high in honor. Burr, 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 burr. The wicked man will see and be vexed. Roar! He will gnash his teeth. Rrr! And waste away. The longings of the wicked will come to nothing. The end.
Okay. Except for, like, earlier they were talking about how the wicked do succeed.
Yeah.
And that
they were
God
I hate it that the wicked always succeed.
Right.
Why, God? Why?
Like, God's either going to punish them after they die or going to punish their, progeny or whatever.
It just depends on what page you're reading.
It really does. It really does.
So, Psalm 112 is the prosperity of him who fears the Lord. And it starts, Praise ye the Lord, blessed is the man who feareth the Lord. This is a psalm in praise of the virtuous. This psalm, along with Psalm 111, is acrostic by phrase, blah, 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 blah. And those are my notes for 111 and 112.
I see.
I
especially like the blah, 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 blah.
Because I already said that part in the last one.
Okay, yeah.
It was the thing with the acrostic and the alphabet and the letters down the side.
I gotcha.
Blah, 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 blah.
All right, so that was Psalms, let's see,
10, 11, 12.
110, 111, and 112. Mm-hmm. And then tomorrow, hypothetically.
No, not hypothetically.
Not hypothetically, we know.
We know for a fact that we will be doing 113, 114, and 115.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right. Well, then we will see you guys. No, not tomorrow. Not tomorrow.
Wait, this is... this is going out on Friday.
Yeah, this is a Friday show, so this will be coming up on Monday.
Yeah.
And we do need to do a special episode of some type this weekend, which we skipped last weekend because wedding that we went to, etc. So I'm not sure if we're going with book club or if we're going with Patreon because it has been our 2 weeks since our Patreon.
I think we'll probably do a Patreon. I'm just not sure what.
Probably do a Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
So, but something will happen this weekend, and then I'll get out the weekly replay, and then we'll be back with the regular episodes again on Monday.
With 113, 114, and 115.
You got it. All right. We'll see you guys then.
Yep. Bye. Husband.
Wife.
Do you know what we're doing today?
We're doing a special episode.
We are.
Yeah, a Patreon.
A Patreon episode.
Yep.
It's a little bit late because it was supposed to come out this morning, but it's still today, so it's still on time.
Yeah, it's right on time.
But
because we left it for tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are we going over today?
Left-handedness and the evils therein.
All right, let's go do this.
Sinister laugh ensues. So you were giving me the weirdest look.
Yeah, I was.
And I couldn't understand why until you explained it.
Because you weren't acknowledging my reference to what we're doing.
You said that we left it to the night, and so we're still right on time.
Yeah.
And in retrospect, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, because left
and right.
Right.
Yeah. And that's what we're covering.
Yes. Apologies.
No, it's all right. I was like,
maybe
you didn't get that, did you?
I didn't even register. Nope. So, but maybe nobody else got it either.
Possibly. So maybe it's a good thing that we're covering it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because I mean, seriously,
I thought it was clever.
You were looking at me like, "Are you okay? Are you high?" And I'm like, "Why are you looking at me? What did I miss?"
And now you know.
I did. Yeah. So we're talking about lefties.
Yeah.
Or left-handedness.
Sure.
And it is sinister.
Is it now?
Yeah, but let me get there.
Okay.
First of all, about 90% of the world's population is right-handed.
That sounds about right.
That right there explains everything.
Does it?
I mean,
it explains everything.
It does.
Why it's evil, why it's...
Okay, if 90% of the people are a thing, the 10% are going to be perceived by prehistoric dum-dums as weirdos.
Sounds like atheists.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, that says it all.
Right.
Did you fit out instead of fit in? You are of the devil.
Got it. Okay.
Right? I mean,
yeah.
The association of the directional left with evil is likely attributed to the dominance of right-handed people within a population, and consequently the awkwardness of motions made from the left side of the body.
Okay.
Trying to fit into a right-handed world.
Yeah.
Sure. You're left-handed.
Like when you eat it, like one of the things that always bugs me is like, oh, are you left-handed? We need to figure out where you can sit so that we don't bump elbows while we're eating.
Yeah, because you're the weirdo, right?
Right.
Not you, husband. You are right-handed.
Right. But I mean, if there's a left-handed person, you have to figure it out.
My ex is left-handed. That should have been a red flag, like right away, right? JK, left-handies, don't come stomping at me. I'm just kidding. I mean, no, he really is left-handed.
Right.
And he really is sinister, but the two are not linked.
No.
No, he's sinister for all kinds of different reasons.
Sure.
So let's talk about the good parts of left-handedness for a minute.
Okay.
Because there are some.
Yeah.
Among Incas, left-handers were called, and now are still called among the indigenous people of the Andes, Quechua, which has a positive value.
Okay. Yeah.
So sometimes people view oddities as good things.
Right.
Kind of like in some societies that view people who are intersex or who are not want to be trans, that's the wrong choice of words, who identify as trans.
Yeah.
They view those as particularly good things instead of odd things that fit out. Like there are societies that recognize that as not just a normal equal thing, but as a particularly good instead of particularly bad.
Do you have any more information on those societies? Because
You've
never heard of
those?
them. No.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll get back to you on that. I didn't cite my sources on that because I didn't know that was not a well-known fact.
Yeah.
There are some.
I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm curious.
Yeah, they're recognized in some small societies as like medicine people or particularly spiritual people, and yeah.
Okay.
It's a thing.
Sure.
I just assumed everybody knew it.
Nope.
Okay.
You assume people know a lot of stuff.
Well, usually I'm right.
All the time.
Usually I'm right.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, usually I'm right. Oh my God.
Never, almost.
That's false. There's always like one person that's like, I'm with husband. I've never heard of that. But the vast majority of the times, most people are like, yeah.
It's a very small sample.
What?
As far as people that we've questioned about these rights and wrongs.
Oh my God. Oh no, what happened?
Well, this is a special Patreon episode, actually. Which means that they need to go to Patreon and subscribe as a patron in order to listen to it.
Okay, well, I guess that we are going to go do that now.
Yeah, just head over to patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse, become a member for as low as $2 a month, and you'll have access to all these special things and goodies too. So, go do that.
So this was just a teaser.
Yeah, teaser.
Okay, just
Bye.
checking.
Oh,
Bye.
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 Hey, wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe, leave an Apple review, join us on Twitter, support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.